put the topics in the private chat.
Sure. I'll do that. Hello, everybody, and welcome back. I mean, to not something we normally do on the channel, something entirely different, because we're going to be talking entirely about the Fallout TV show. Let me just do this real quick. That's a long list of stuff, guys. So,
Okay.
oh my God, it doesn't even copy half. It doesn't even copy a quarter of it. Oh my God. All right. Well, I'll lead the charge. You guys will know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I got
But
you.
the whole point of this little podcast we're doing today is to just kind of do a spoiler discussion on Fallout TV show. So I wouldn't recommend. I mean, if you're watching this, anybody who's watching this, we appreciate it, but I wouldn't recommend watching this if you haven't seen the show in its entirety, because we are going to be talking about quite a bit of spoilers. So that's just a warning up front for you guys. Before we get into topics, I guess we'd run it like a little bit like a normal podcast. Like, how are you guys doing? What's going on? How you been? And yeah, just let them know.
I'm doing all right. Just came home from work not too long ago. Just actually, oh my God, time really flew. It's been 3 hours now, so I guess it has been long ago. But just kind of chilling, just having an all right day. Happy to be here, the usual.
It's good to hear. It's good to hear. Ham, how you been, buddy?
Sick.
Sick.
Yeah.
I get you.
But I'm doing better now. Just still kind of a little fuzzy. But all in all, I'm ready to get down on some games and play and have a good time on some stuff. So, but for today, I mean, we're talking about some pretty intense show stuff that happened, and I'm
absolutely
pretty excited to get into it. But I'm really interested in how this will be presented. So I'm very much here for it.
I've got it all here, and we're obviously going to start. I mean, Fallout Episode 1, because I mean, and the opening scene for me, like, I'm going to ask you all what your favorite scene from that specific episode is. But for me, if I got to go first, which I will, the opening scene was my favorite scene from that episode. There's a lot of really cool stuff in that episode. I think I just think that the introduction of Coop as a character, as a former celebrity, or I guess current celebrity still at that point, but like as, oh my goodness, what is this? The hell? As a
right click on the video and hit loop.
Perfect. Thank you very much. But yeah, the introduction to Coop as a character, I thought was brilliant. Introducing his daughter, especially in that moment, was brilliant. I want to get your guys' take on obviously your favorite scene from that episode, but the first scene in particular. I mean, do you think it was as well set up as I thought it was? Because I thought that was like one of the best scenes in the show, period. That very first scene.
I honestly thought that scene was fantastic personally. I really like the whole tone of trying to, not the tone, but like everyone trying to ignore reality. And understandably, when you really can't really do anything about a nuclear war. But, they're all just sitting around, trying to enjoy the birthday party. And, they're trying to not talk about it. And I think that was a great opening personally.
I'm right there with you, honestly. Ham, what are your thoughts on the opening, the very first scene of Fallout?
The TV show? All right, so I'm gonna kind of dissect it a little bit because this was
Go for it.
One of the best scenes of just TV, in my opinion. In just modern, like I shouldn't like I don't know. Yeah, screw it. Yeah, of modern TV, I'd say like there's very few shows that can kind of get you into it the way that did. Like that, the way that the show kicked off, you don't have to be a fan of Fallout to
Oh.
know that this is gonna be nuts. Like
Yep.
there is no part of anybody that has to be uh like a follower or even have had the herd like I could have turned on that show not even knowing the title of it and seen that first scene and been like, what the hell is going on here? Like, and then on
Yeah.
top of it, since I actually I'm not very knowledgeable in the lore at all, but I know what the game is. I know what the premise kind of is. I know what type of world it's supposed to be. Um, I'd have to say another piece of kudos outside of the whole explosiveness of what kind of ended up happening. The way they kind of set up the situation from the jump, where you see the little kid, the I believe the daughter, right?
Mhm.
And you see the dad, and they look like they're kind of outside of their element. The people that are, paying them to be here are like pretty much looking at this dude like he's washed up,
Yeah.
right? They're they're they're,
Yeah.
they're, they're, they're like very disrespectful to him right in front of his daughter, and his daughter's asking questions like, "Yo, what does this person mean when they say this?"
Mhm.
Right?
Yeah.
So there's already the kind of, is this person, I want to believe this person's good, but what did he do? Why do these people not want to take him serious? And then on
Mhm.
top of it, you have just the situation in which the world is set in at the moment, where people are worried, people are on edge, and people are trying to ignore it. People are really trying to ignore it because, as you said, and we've talked about this when it comes to government and news and stuff like this between each other, and we're just like, yo, I understand there's something going on in Ukraine. I understand that there's something going on in Israel with Iran and stuff like that. I understand that there's been genocide in all these different places throughout history. But as a person that's just sitting at home, that is just trying to, take care of their rent, make sure there's food on the table, what am I going to do about that situation?
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
I don't want to sit there and just be, God damn, my mic volume keeps moving around. It's driving me insane. Um, um, yeah. What am I gonna do about this? Like I already know this information. I don't need to keep consuming negativity over this,
Mm.
right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
So I felt like that was interesting to see kind of the tension within the parents, but at the same time, the parents are also trying to kind of push it to the side and ignore it. And the kids are like being told like it's kind of like mythical or something that is very unlikely to happen. And the rest of the kids are just completely like just out of the loop, right? They're
Oh
just
Yeah.
yeah.
living as
Oblivious.
kids and whatnot.
Yeah.
And and with that character being and with the main character that we have here right here on the screen,
Mhm.
um he was, you know, clearly not comfortable doing what he had to do for some cash. He looked like he was like, I mean, where's the wife at, right?
Yeah.
Where's the
Yeah.
wife? You got the kid. You're there on a horse,
Yeah.
right? Like, and you look like you, you look like you were famous at one time, but are doing autographs because you spent all your cash. You look like that NBA player that just so happened to, ball himself out of control into a really bad situation to where you're now asking people, sign me, I need some help,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
So all of that stuff just being right there at that moment and that kind of tension feeling that we're getting as viewers watching it and then watching the explosion happen right in front of the kid, right after the dad got done telling her, hey, what's the kind of the protocol with this whole nuclear stuff? And he's like, if the explosion is smaller than your thumb, then you're okay, but you got some time to maneuver and do stuff. If it's bigger than your thumb, then you might as well just accept your fate. You're done.
Yep.
And then just a few minutes later, as the dad goes in to get the kids some damn cake, you just see you see a solar flare.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And you just see the kid's eyes raise up, the volume goes down, and the thumb comes up. And when that thumb comes up, you as a viewer are like, this show just fucking started.
Yeah.
Yeah.
like as a viewer, that's what you're thinking. You're like, this show just fucking started. Like, I knew this was part of the formula as a fan of Fallout, right? Or as a person that knows a little. I shouldn't even call myself a fan because I wasn't really a fan until after I got done seeing the show. Like, I was just a person that knew about that knew some things that had to do with Fallout. So
yes.
So with that being said, seeing that happened like within the first 10 damn minutes of the show. The thumb comes up from the little kid. The dad is still oblivious. Everybody in the house is completely oblivious, eating cake, watching TV. The bomb already went off.
Yeah. They have no idea.
And as soon as dad comes out with the cake, she says, in my opinion, is like the infamous line, your thumb or mine.
Yeah.
I was like, cooked. Y'all are fucking cooked. like right when she said your thumb or mine, and dad looked over and the only thing he could do is go into daddy mode.
Yeah.
Right? That's the only thing that he could do is just go into daddy mode and say, oh no, babe, that's just some dust.
It's some smoke. It's just a smoke. It's a fire. Don't worry about that.
Smoke. And then he's still processing that this is actually happening right in front of me right now. And once he's seen that fire, bro turned into John Marston's and hopped on that goddamn horse and got to booking. The house imploded. Or the house the house like imploded or exploded or whatever. The glass went everywhere. Everyone's running. And then immediately everyone went into fight or flight because you seen that guy go into his basement.
Yep.
Or you seen that guy
punch out his friend.
family to go into the basement, and bro was like, hey man, I'm at your house, at your party. Like, I need some damn shelter. And without hesitation, slap. He just beat he knocked that sucker out with no hesitation. And was like, peace out.
One thing I wanted to say real quick, Ham, not to cut you off.
No, you're good. I'm done.
One thing I like kind of was like remembering here is like, didn't that one of the fathers like call him like a pinko? Which is like do you know what know what that means?
Yeah, I think but I'm trying to remember if he called him that.
Yeah, when he when he refused to do the thumbs up, which is kind of like a derogatory term for someone slightly like left leaning, I guess. So I'm wondering, like, whatever he did to fall out of good graces, like the good graces of Hollywood, is he now like labeled like one of the communists or something like that? Like I wonder,
Oh
you know,
man, that's wild.
because that's what
Could
that
be.
it's kind of like pink. The reason why it's pink, it's kind of like diet communist sympathizer, left leaning, yada yada. Semantics at that point. But yeah, so I'm really interested to find out what exactly he did or said that got him into that position to be called that.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, yeah.
I got thoughts on what could have possibly happened, but I feel like this is all stuff that we'll get to, especially in episode 8, because like of all the things that happen in this show, there's so much that happens in episode 8. So up next, I mean, if anyone else has anything to say about the opening scene, we're gonna go right to the vault and introduction to Lucy. Eventually, we get the Maximus and everything, but the scene introducing us to the vault, introducing us to Lucy, I thought, I mean, it's a good scene. I just got it felt like kind of the downtime after, what just happened, and then obviously it picks back up with the introduction. Oh my god, it's Loke. Did you finish the series, Loke?
No, I didn't. I am at the 8th episode though. I finished the 7th and I am at the 8th episode.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, because you can't talk with us about the 8th episode then.
Yes, yeah. So we can talk about everything up until the
Sure.
8th episode.
Sure.
Yeah. What
So-
are we talking about right now?
Wait a minute. Oh yeah, okay. I'll try not to spoil anything then.
Yeah, we're not gonna. We're not gonna spoil the 8th episode.
Yeah. No. I'm spoiling it. Get your ass out of here.
Yeah. Go away, Lo.
like once we get to the 8th episode, sayonara, sucker. Or deal with it.
Yeah,
That's
once
what
we
I'm
get to the 8th
assuming.
episode,
Yeah,
exactly. Once
I
we get
will
to the
get
8th episode,
That's
all
not a
bets are
problem.
off. You're
That's not
getting
a problem.
spoiled. Okay.
That's cool.
I'm gonna ruin your experience, Loke. Let's go.
I'm
Ham.
the trollman in this podcast.
Oh man. So yeah, we were talking about the introduction of Lucy as a character.
My volume should be good now. I figured out what the problem was.
You sound good.
Yeah, you
Sound
do.
good. But yeah, we were talking about the introduction of Lucy as a character, the introduction to the vault. She's doing shit with her cousin. She's doing all sorts of stuff in that vault going on. I mean,
experimenting. All right, let's not be judgmental.
And let's be serious. It's not really surprising considering it's I mean, how many people are really in there? It's like you're probably all related in some way, shape, or form after 200 something years. So I mean, it makes sense. It's still gross, but it makes sense. But Lucy as a character introduced. I mean, I want to talk about personally the whole Raider attack on Vault 33, because that was kind of, like I said, this whole introduction of Lucy was kind of the downtime after the opening scene, and then it picks right back up and goes almost even harder with the whole Raider attack on Vault 33. Look, you shut up, bud. But I'm gonna pass it to Mike. I mean, what are your thoughts? I mean, introducing.
First, please. 1 sec.
Oh, you want me to go to him first? All right. Go. Sure. Go ahead. Ham, what are your thoughts being introduced to Lucy? Were you intrigued by her character right off the bat, or is it and we'll talk a little bit about it later, so I don't want to go too deep into it, but were you intrigued by her character off the bat?
Absolutely.
We'll say that.
I absolutely was. And well, first off, let me get this off of the table. I think she's fine.
She is.
I think she is fine.
Yeah, she is.
But on top, but what kind of helped with her being, fine in this situation is it's just like you're in such a desolate kind of bad situation, right? Yeah, we got a mad, healthy, good-looking, well-trained person that's in the vault that is very gullible.
Oh yeah.
That's extremely gullible. I felt like when I see her, I think of the Fallout guy with the thumbs up, right? He just looks like he's just totally fine. Like you think of the kid. I mean, not the kid. You think of the meme with the dog sitting with the fire going on, and it's just like everything's fine.
Everything's fine.
This is great.
Mhm.
that is kind of her attitude, and it carries throughout the show. And I think it's very impressive how like
Mhm.
she's worried, but she's optimistic in the worst situation on earth.
Yeah, literally the worst.
I mean, I can't wait to dive into a little bit later on with the whole with the whole chainsaw thing. I can't wait to get into
Oh,
that part. But
oh yeah.
but let me not go too far ahead. I want to particularly talk about like seeing the skills that she had and her feeling the need to, you know, up the ante and like graduate, right? Daddy is the leader, right,
Mhm.
of the vault. Brother is kind of a scary little chump
Oh
at
yeah.
first.
Yeah, grumpy man, grumpy boy.
Right. He doesn't he's Mr. Don't want to participate.
Mhm.
Right? And she's the opposite. She's the go-getter. So I felt like so if you're asking me in particular about her and how I felt about her character, I mean like I've met people that are really like that in real life where it's just like they'll even get robbed and act like everything was fine.
Yeah.
And it's
They
insane. It's insane, but it's just like wow, like she as an actor played that part very well.
Mhm. Also, hats off to her because I watched an interview with her. She's British. Would have never known with her
I wouldn't have
accent.
known that either.
Would have never
British
known.
folks are so good at doing that.
They are. They typically are. I don't know what it is. I
Like
don't know what
Idris
it is
Elba
about
is a
that.
goddamn genius.
Oh yeah, Idris Elba. You never would know that he's British. Never would know he's British.
You would have thought he
It's
was from New
amazing.
York.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. It's amazing. But Mike, are you all right? You all good?
Yeah, I am all good now.
Right.
Sorry about that.
What are your thoughts, Lucy, as a character? What are your initial thoughts of Lucy? Did you like her off the
Lucy's-
bat? Did you grow into her? What do you?
I
What are you
liked her.
thinking?
I liked her right away. I think the actor plays her great. I think she's a great character. I didn't not like her right away, but it was kind of like when I first saw her, I was kind of like, all right, we'll see where this goes. Kind of like when I get introduced to anybody.
Mhm.
Um, but she plays the character great. Like the character in itself is fantastic. I thought that like I'm only okay at shooting or whatever she said. And she like essentially had all bullseyes except like
That
one
eye
shot or
shot.
something. Yeah,
Yeah.
like literally like perfect. And it's like, oh yeah, I miss. I thought that was funny. Yeah, but I think she's awesome.
Mhm.
It's funny how cheery that all starts and how fast it goes.
Yeah,
So
we're definitely gonna get into that. I mean, I'm in agreement with both of you. Just to be clear, like Lucy as a character, I think is a pretty awesome character. But Loke, since you're here, buddy, what are your thoughts on Lucy
The
being
first
first
time I
introduced?
saw her, the
Yes.
first time I saw her, I was like, here we go.
Oh
Mary Sue
no.
character. She's going to be perfect. She's she's going to know everything and she's going to fix everything and she's going to be everything. I couldn't be more wrong. I
Yeah.
couldn't be more wrong. She's got so many flaws. I believe that she's a human being. She
Mhm.
makes mistakes, she learns lessons, and she's a protagonist that I actually look forward to seeing. So I'm very happy about how wrong I was about Lucy. I love her. I think she's awesome, and she's hot as
Absolutely.
hell.
She is. She's gorgeous.
Her
You can't
character
deny that.
build is just insane to me because like by episode 7 she's just like
Oh
but by
yeah.
episode like 6 or 7 she's just like, "Yo, I'm kind of getting sick of this shit."
Mhm.
yeah,
Like
She has a wild character arc. Her and the next character we're going to be talking about, Maximus, have a just a crazy character arc.
Yeah.
But the attack on Vault 33. Obviously, it starts. There's some hints, and I'll tell you this: I'm so stupid that when I first watched that episode, I was caught by surprise by the attack.
Wait, really?
Yes, and then I watched it back a day later, and I was like, "Oh, that was." I can't believe I didn't see that.
Wow, that's wild.
Because you had the Raiders like eating with like a knife, just stabbing their food and shit. I'm just like, oh, okay.
People with tattoos on the back of their head.
Tattoos up to her neck. She has like a sleeve on her arm of tattoos. I'm just like, oh, okay. I don't know why I didn't catch that. But I mean, that's just me being an idiot on my part. But I mean, that whole scene to me was done. Oh, Vinny, what's up, buddy?
Hey,
Uso.
What's how you doing, bud?
Good. How you guys
Good to
doing?
hear. Good to hear.
All right, thank you.
Doing all right, bud.
Happy here.
Thanks for stopping by.
Yeah,
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. What?
I thought I heard Mike say Happy New Year. My bad.
No, I said happy you're here.
Oh, okay. My bad.
Close enough. Close
enough. You know, really.
Happy New Year.
I might as well have.
But yeah, you just showed up in the most exciting part of episode 1, which is the Raider attack on Vault 33. Obviously starts with Lucy getting married to Monty, who I'll tell you, and again, me being an idiot, looking at Monty the first time you see him, I'm like, I should have known this guy is a demon. This guy is no good. I should have known that, but I didn't.
Wait, which one is Monty?
Monty's the one that she got married to.
When I seen him, I was just like, oh, this dick.
Yeah,
this
like
guy
the
ain't
way
talking a whole lot. This is a problem.
The way he has his head down and he barely looks up at her, and he's like, "My name's Monty." I'm just like, okay, this guy's probably bad. This guy's probably bad.
He gave me McPoyle feels. I don't like that. The McPoyle, like he's somebody that looks like he like showers in milk. Like
Showers in milk.
Like I don't.
Okay, that
like
doesn't sound like a bad thing though. I would shower in milk.
Oh my god.
All right, Loke.
Okay.
Right.
All right, bud.
What?
I don't know what they're doing over there.
You let us know, bud. You let us know.
Yeah, but
why is it a bad thing to shower in milk? I don't understand.
Over here in the rest of America, we're not showering in milk. All right, buddy.
Right, whatever.
The Republic of Texas over there.
Sorry, Ham. Finish your point.
We got to talk about that later. Anyways, yeah, go on, Ham.
Oh, did you have anything to also say, Ham?
Oh, no.
Okay, cool. So yeah, Monty being the husband in this case goes back to the bedroom, goes back to their vault room, and he's ready to just go immediately. He just takes his clothes off and he's ready to go right then and there. And I mean, I thought that was weird. I thought him afterwards wiping himself on the curtains was the most ridiculous shit also. But I mean,
maybe they're just different in the vault, you know?
Yeah, dude, like up until I saw him wipe himself on the curtains, I thought maybe that is just different. These guys are just different, you know? But then I saw him do that, and I'm like, oh, okay, this is not normal. That's not normal. Yeah, so then the whole attack starts, and I'll tell you, that's probably like I was worried going into this. I'm not worried because it's Fallout, but like the thing I liked about the Last of Us show was that it had a really great story. The thing I didn't like about the Last of Us show is that it had almost no action. So like I knew there was going to be action because it's Fallout. It's a whole different vibe than Last of Us, but they kind of set the tone with that first episode with the Raider attack, the level of violence that will be in this show. And it's a common theme throughout the show. Like I tried to get a screenshot of the part where that dude says, where are you going with that jelly mold or whatever shit he says? And then this dude grabs a guy and throws him against the wall and puts a gun in his mouth and then aims this dude's head, the back of his head at somebody, and just fires through his head and kills people. And I'm just like,
that's insane.
That's the most over the top way to kill people I've ever seen, probably. But I mean, it sets the tone really well for the violence in the show and the games, quite honestly, as well. So, I mean, I'm going to pass it off to you guys. Whoever wants to go first. What were your thoughts on the attack of Vault 33?
Man, that whole scene was fucking just wild. That was just so over the top. So Fallout too, mind you. Like incredibly Fallout, I'd say,
Yeah.
when the shit hits the fan. And when these Fallout games in general, the music, but like when like the shit hits the fan in Fallout games, it usually hits it pretty hard. So I think they did a great job of setting up the urgency of like, all right, yeah, this is a really bad world to live in. They're not safe down here. I don't think that scene could have been done any better. I do have a question of where the hell the guards were, but because then
that's a fair question. Maybe they were raiders too. Honestly, who knows?
Yeah, I know, because like at first I'm like, oh, this is like a vault about everyone doing good and they're raised to do good. I'm like, do they maybe not have guards? Is that maybe something? And then, but no, a few scenes later in that same episode, you see a bunch of guards, armed guards. I'm like, where the hell were you people? But so I wonder, if we'll get an answer to that or if it's just one of those things. But I thought that scene was fantastic. I mean, Monty, great for a number of reasons. But I wasn't the level of violence, like in the entirety of that, with the whole like smashing his face with the what was it? Not the blend. Was it the blender glass? What's that?
Yeah,
called?
she broke the blender glass and stabbed him in the face.
Yeah, and it literally ripped his cheek, dude. It was just crazy. It was so well done, and it just made me excited to watch more, and also a little disturbed, and like I need answers like now, kind of a feeling. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, man, I don't think they could really have gone any better, personally.
I agree with that. Whoever wants to go next on the
I'll go next because I literally need to go like for real.
That's fair.
Yeah, the attack was like Uso said, it was special, very like graphic and believable. Another concern that I had for the whole Fallout thing was not only that Lucy was going to be a Mary Sue, but that they were going to Disneyfy it and make it soft.
Oh, yeah.
That did not happen. That did not
not
happen.
at all.
Vicious.
Not at all.
No.
It was vicious, bloody, and just gore everywhere. Just a symphony of blood and pain and death. And I love it. I freaking love it. I can't wait to watch it tomorrow when I come back from work. Y'all have a good one. Matt,
Thank you for stopping by.
Keep doing your thing. Ham, cheers. Mike, I'll see you guys. And Uso,
We'll see you, Lo.
bye-bye.
See you, man.
See you, dude. All right.
All right. I guess I'll go now.
Go for it.
I guess I think I'm the only one left that hasn't gone. But yeah, that initial fight scene to me was pretty insane. I mean, obviously, with the whole discomfort and weirdness of seeing the other vault, what was it, 32 come through?
32, yeah.
Yeah, seeing Vault 32 come through. And they just, like, it was like the Hell's Angels walked in.
It kind of was.
It was like,
it kind of was.
Like, immediately, I was like, this don't smell right.
Oh, yeah.
Like I could smell the putridness that came from just right over there, just the attitude, the way they carried themselves, the way they walked, the way that they kind of interacted, the demonic look old girl was given that was over there. I forgot her name.
She also looked dirty.
Moldava.
Moldava.
Yeah, Moldava. And I thought it was extra wild and special that old Pops, Mr. Overseer, stayed in character.
Yeah.
When he seen her.
Yes, we
Because
talked about that off. Yeah.
Because he seen her, they locked eyes, and you didn't really understand what that lock really meant until later.
Mm.
But
Good
they
point.
locked eyes, and he was just like, he reminded me of George Bush reading the book on 9/11.
Yeah.
He's like,
Yeah.
"Oh, we're doing it.
I
We're
see
finally
that.
doing it."
Right?
I
Where
can
it's
see
just
that.
like, we're just going to pretend I didn't see anything. And I'm
Yeah.
just going to continue with this service right now. And it went down. He stayed in character and allowed himself to get taken.
Yeah.
For his daughter and child, right?
Yeah.
Which is nuts. And then on top of that, seeing that happened, and then old girl was going to go, get laid by dude. Like, they were super excited, or she was super excited to be married. He was just there to get some guts.
Yeah.
Right? And when he got, when they were all finished and everything was said and done, he was like, well, I got what I needed. I'm going to smash on this food and kill you.
Pretty much.
And it was just like, it was so like, it was like some Jeffrey Dahmer type shit, right?
Yeah.
Where it was just like, man, this dude is so out of his mind. He just wanted what he wanted, and he was gonna leave a trail of blood.
It was the best night of my life.
And just make an exit and keep moving with Moldiver or whatever her name was. I'm bad.
Yeah. Moldiver.
But yeah, I mean, I thought that whole initial kind of fight, and then as Mike was kind of talking about the guards, I feel like, well, you got to remember, they've never seen anything like this before.
That's true.
No, I know. I was wondering where they were.
Even if there were guards, I imagine that they had like the capacity to deal with this as if like they were like children. Like, right? Like, children always want to, children and, kids, I mean, you see them at the playground when they're talking to each other, they all want to act hard, but once they get a little confrontation from somebody that they don't know,
did you play Fallout 3 by chance? Because that reminds me of something from Fallout 3. I don't know if you played that one. Like, I know you're playing Fallout 4 and 76 at the moment, but I don't know if you played Fallout 3 because that reminds me of something.
I've played very little. I wouldn't consider myself to have played.
All right, never mind. Continue with your point then, because you're about to make a good point there. So let you finish.
Oh, I mean, I was pretty much kind of just ending it with that. It was just like they didn't know what they were doing. So even if they were around, they were mad unprepared.
Yeah.
What was going to happen? Some of the people that were, old boy was about to have a kid, right? Gone immediately. And what was weird about that is, he was gone, right? I felt like it was, and I think we'll talk about this maybe a little bit later. I felt like it was mad weird how quick old girl kind of got over.
Oh yeah.
Thing. Yeah. And she knew where she was from. She knew where she was from, and she was trying to I'm gonna stop myself.
Yeah. I know.
I get exactly what you're saying there. I do want to say shout out to Norm, because I was too stupid to clock it, but shout out to Norm for clocking that something was wrong as soon as he saw those people. Because Norm, like, it kept cutting back to Norm during that whole scene when they're eating, and Norm's just looking around like, dude, I don't trust this at all. This is bad. So shout out to Norm for clocking it.
Love Norm.
But we get on to the introduction of Maximus, who, I mean, I'm just, well, no, I'm not going to say yet, but like Maximus as a character, I really like Maximus's character. But the introduction of Maximus is a little strange because you don't really know his full backstory. I mean, you kind of start to piece things together as it goes on. So you don't really know what kind of person he is. All you know is that this is Maximus. He's in the Brotherhood of Steel. He's friends with Dane, who gets promoted to be a squire for Knight Titus, which we'll also talk about Knight Titus pretty
Fucking
briefly
stupid.
in episode. Yeah, we'll talk about him pretty briefly in episode 2. But that was great though. But yeah, something happens to Dane where she gets her foot injured, which comes out later in the series of what actually happened to that. But what were your thoughts on Maximus as a character? Do you think they did a good job introducing him? Whoever wants to go first.
Yeah, I really think so. I mean, really, if I'm not mistaken, it almost opens up with him. I believe it was Johnny Cash playing in the background too, getting his ass kicked. Which
getting
I think honestly, for the kind of character and like person he is, and how he grows, I think really like that's probably the perfect opening for him. It's like a person that's picked on, kind of just taking advantage because he's there, kind of just trying to make his way through the world in a world that really doesn't give a shit about no one. And I think that was really, really fitting for him. And I don't really think it could have been open any better. And I think this also paints a great picture of not just him as a character, but just kind of how like the rest of the world operates. You know what I mean? Like, I think how that whole beginning opening, not the opening, but the whole opening for Maximus, showing off that entire scene with all the barracks and stuff in the background, as he's getting picked on for God knows why, which we do find out later. But was really just great, because like he didn't know why this was happening to him there. He just wanted to get it. He just wanted to end. He wanted to stick up for himself, and I don't think he could have opened it better for him, personally.
Nice. Vinny, how do you feel about Maximus's introduction?
I thought he was so weird in the beginning. like you really don't like him that much, because he just seems like this like entitled dude that just gets bullied on, and not just from the other Brotherhood like lower members, but from like the scribes as well.
Yeah.
He gets the shit. No one likes him.
Yeah, they really hate him there.
Yeah, and then he's the first one to blame when Dane gets her foot cut up. He's just like in the interrogation, just like he feels like he's about to lose his entire life.
Start talking. Remember that?
Yeah, exactly.
That was fucking horrifying. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, he's like, speak. That's it.
Speak.
Yeah, but Maximus as a character is definitely a bit interesting. We could talk more about that.
He's just like really weird in the beginning. Like I can't say I liked him, but by the end of the show, I really ended up liking him a lot.
Yeah,
I get that.
He's an awkward dude.
Kind of where I fall on it as well. Ham, what are your thoughts on the introduction of Maximus?
I thought the introduction of Maximus was pretty wild, seeing that he was just kind of brought on more or less as like an outcast, right? He was almost like a person that got saved but was used as a slave, right? He didn't really have any credibility to be where he was. He just so happened to kind of be, right place at the, or wrong place at the right time, right? So I mean, he lost all of his family. He survived in a refrigerator, which is insane.
Yeah.
But but watching him just kind of feel the need to like he knew in his mind, like, hey, I don't feel like I'm being treated fairly, and I feel like I deserve more, but I don't really know how to go about it other than maybe like a little bit of fuckery. But at the same time, how do I go about pulling this off? And like he looks like a man that always kind of had an idea of, hey, I want to be free someday, but I just don't know how I'm gonna do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't even know what that
Good way to
means.
put it. Yeah.
I don't even know what freedom means. Like just basic human elements that we as people take for granted every day is like insane. Like he can't fathom it. Like it's like everything that hasn't been taught to him within the confines of that military like slavery base is like completely foreign to him, and like he almost feels like he's like undeserving. He acts like he's undeserving of things.
Yeah.
So like you kind of start out when you meet him like immediately kind of feeling bad, like, oh, like what are they doing to this guy? How are why are they treating this guy like this? Like he gets jumped by those people, and later you find out why he gets jumped, right? But at the time when he gets jumped, it's just like you could tell that like he's not invited to the barbecue.
Yeah.
Right? Like everyone's like, you are here, but you must, be kind of the runt. You're the black sheep here, and we're not going to let you forget it. So I mean, the introduction to him, I thought was just sad, and I didn't really know how if I would develop to like him or not, and I couldn't really tell. Like the way that they brought him on, and I know how. I mean, like I said, I don't know a whole lot about Fallout, but I know enough to be like, hey, this person could be saying he's good or looking to be good, but be an absolute horrible person.
Yeah.
So I just didn't know how I was gonna be able to balance whether I like this person or not. But I know when they first introduced him, they wanted you to like him.
Yes.
They wanted you to feel bad for him.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Definitely. I mean, the last part of this episode was actually the introduction of the ghoul, and this whole first part, like the whole first episode, is going to take a lot longer than the other episodes because we're being introduced to all the characters and everything, so we got to go through that. But the introduction to the ghoul, I thought was, I mean, I'll say it wasn't my favorite introduction to the characters that they did, but the ghoul as a character throughout the series is just fucking awesome. So you can't really debate that. But like, I thought the introduction to him was cool. Kind of set the tone for what kind of character he is. You do not fuck with the ghoul. You don't come to the ghoul with any sort of bullshit because you will absolutely get killed, kind of thing. And they did a good job setting that tone. But I'm gonna pass it off to you guys. However quick, slow, however you want to go. I mean, what are your thoughts on the introduction of the ghoul? Whoever wants to go first.
Man, when he was introduced, I just want to say real quick in that scene, I'm so happy they had like the junk cannon, the junk thrower. What's it called in Fallout?
Yeah, the junk jet.
Yeah,
the
junk jet.
Shot a baby foot.
Baby foot. Yeah, a toy baby foot. That was so funny, dude. I was so happy to see that. But man, yeah, through the entirety of that scene, I had no idea what to expect with the ghoul. I just didn't know if am I gonna end up liking him or am I gonna hate him? As a character, I know in the end I do love the character itself, but I don't know yet if I really like him, if you know what I mean. As a character, phenomenal. Yeah. But I'm still a bit precautious, you know what I mean? But yeah, that introductory, it was kind of I don't want to say simple because it was really well done. The dialogue there between him and the other bounty hunters was really amusing. especially when they thought he was going to eat the chicken.
Yeah.
So because he picked him up, should we shoot him? Does that count, or what does he say?
Yeah, he
Does that
said,
count, or
should
what?
we shoot him? Does that count?
Yeah. Yeah. So I think I think it was fun more than anything.
Absolutely. Whoever wants to go next on that.
I really liked the Ghouls intro. I thought it was very, very like anticipating, like that they bring his coffin out of the ground,
Yeah.
and then you like, I didn't really know who's gonna come out. I didn't really know that much about like I didn't watch any of the trailers of explaining anything.
Okay, yeah.
But when he came out, I was like, oh, it's the Ghoul guy from the show, the trailers, and then I thought it fit perfectly with his character because in his movies he's always playing as the guy who's like killing the Mexicans, like
Yeah.
And then he just so happened to get caught by a bunch of Mexicans in the show.
Yeah.
And
oh yeah, you know what? That's an interesting way to, that's actually that's a good way to put that.
Yeah, it all tied back around. And I think they're mercenaries, right? Those three guys.
Bounty hunters, yeah.
Bounty hunters. So also showed you what kind of affiliation he has in the wasteland. He's a bounty hunter. Like so kind of explain like how badass he was if they're willing to go through all that trouble to release him and then possibly risk their lives, right?
Yeah.
And then you find out later in the show he's a complete badass. Like he's not just the movie star,
Yeah.
He's legit.
Oh yeah. And then I thought it was interesting, the whole chicken thing. I don't really know much about ghouls and chicken. I didn't know they like eating chickens, but
I honestly didn't either. So
I think it might just be like it was probably like the first living thing it could, they'd see that. Because I don't really remember any Fallout lore
I gotcha. That
that
probably
like
makes sense.
specifies chickens, but I mean, who knows? It could be a random dialogue in Fallout 2 for all I know.
Yeah, like why chicken specifically, Like, but no, I thought his intro was great.
Sure.
Nice. It's good stuff. I mean, yeah, oh damn. I'm about to cut you off. Go ahead. What are your thoughts on the ghoul?
So initially meeting the ghoul, you kind of have an idea of who it is, right? Because it's just like he looks exactly like, the gentleman at the beginning of the show. So you got a good idea of who it is, but it's weird to see how he developed from being, the human into the ghoul, right? Because as the human, sure, he might have, played his cards close, but he didn't mean for no harm, right?
Yeah.
And definitely as we continue to talk about the other episodes, you'll definitely see that, he wasn't completely all right with everything that transpired before, the launch of the missiles and stuff like that. But but seeing the ghoul and just kind of how he's like first introduced, he's completely looked at by those that are around him as like that one guy at the bar that you absolutely never have anything to say to him. There's no reason to talk to this guy. There's no reason to spark up a conversation. There's nothing interesting that this guy needs to tell you. But when he speaks to you, you better speak. You better get to you better get to minding your P's and Q's and give him what he needs. So like I felt like kind of the boss aura that he carried with him was really insane and kind of scary because you don't know if and like I said about old boy earlier, Maximus, the way they do things in Fallout is different. So although someone's a savage, it doesn't mean exactly that they're a terrible person.
Yeah.
They may have just went through a lot and are just, I mean, because you've seen how old girl changed, like we said earlier, how old girl changed from being super gullible to being like, I'm tired of the bullshit.
Yeah.
Right? He's been out there for generations. So he doesn't have any patience. He's there to get what he needs and keep it pushing.
Yeah.
And he's trying and he's on like a quest of what's taken many, what's taken generations to just kind of, pick up clues on. So, I mean, he's just a man on the mission, and he lets you know that, hey, he doesn't fuck around. I mean, that's really all I got to say about the ghoul from the jump.
Yeah. Yeah, he does. He does not fuck around. So that's the end of episode 1. And like I said, episode 1 is going to be the longest one here because I had to do the introduction of all the characters. But episode 2, I want to start the whole episode 2 thing as what was your favorite part of episode 2? I mean, because episode 2, of course, we get the introduction to Will Zig, which is Ben Linus from Lost. I can't remember the actor's name. Michael Emerson is his name. We get the introduction to him and his dog. I mean, that lasts all of an episode. I mean, and then during the episode, they blow his damn foot off. And as soon as they blow his foot off, you're like, okay, well, he's not going to be around for much longer, probably. So, I mean, his story lasts all of one episode.
Puppy, the beginning of the episode. Yeah. That poor fucking thing, dude.
They opened the episode by tossing a puppy in a fucking incinerator. I was like, I had to like double check that I saw that correctly. I was like, what the hell? But I mean, yeah, like I was really it sucks. This episode, I mean, the episode doesn't suck, but like it sucks because I was really excited. I was really excited for Michael Emerson's character to play like a really huge role, and ultimately, I guess his character
he was there in every episode, kinda.
Yeah, exactly. He was there in every episode, but he wasn't really there in every episode. So that got cut short for sure. But I mean, then you obviously had the ghoul, the ghoul kind of shit. What was not the ghoul? What am I thinking of? You had Maximus and Knight Titus running into a Yaguai, getting completely demolished by that, or at least Knight Titus got demolished by that, we'll say. There was tons of combat. The ghoul was completely fucking shit up in town in Philly, which again, like just like the first episode had the attack on Vault 33, that whole scene with the ghoul in episode 2 was that part from episode 1, but for episode 2. But I wanted to pass it off to you guys. What was your favorite part from episode 2 of the Fallout show? Whoever wants to go first.
I can't
this is all your fault. You're fucking stupid.
You're looking at me. Hey, Stiffback, you're fucking stupid. I love it so much.
That's Mike's people right there.
Wait, what? All right, calm down, Benny. But it's just so goddamn funny. It's fucking stupid. I love it.
Mike is this Hard Days Mike is Mike Rappaport.
Yeah,
so he is.
That's more like Vinny. Anyways, let me finish here. All right, let's not sidetrack. But that whole scene, though, I just think that is my favorite scene of the show. I mean, of that episode, because it also kind of shows how much like the Brotherhood of Steel is completely like dissolved into much of it like complete joke. Like the people, hell, the Knight himself is talking about how stupid the Brotherhood is and how
he went out. They make
pointless all the missions are. He's like, you're making go for toast. You know what I mean? It's so funny that just everyone's aware. Like the people that are leading them are idiots. That no matter how noble a goal might be, the people doing it are idiots. The things they make them do are stupid, and it gets them nowhere, and it gets people killed for no reason. Yeah, but that's my favorite. That's my favorite. I keep saying favorite episode. Part of the episode. It's
Favorite
just
part of the episode.
It's too funny, and it just highlights. I just like how Maximus is just like look at like he almost looks at him like a deer in headlights. Like he almost like had his heart like crushed too.
Yeah.
But also then it quickly turned into excitement because he saw a window of opportunity.
Absolutely.
But
I want to add to what you're saying because I want to go quickly because that was also my favorite part. Not specifically Titus like shitting on Maximus, but the fight with the Yaguai and Titus just turning and basically looking at the camera and then just booking it and just fuck. Like that was definitely my favorite part of the episode. And this episode, I think, did a really great job with the whole introducing humor as part of Fallout, which is a huge part of Fallout. And this episode nailed the humor as well as the serious points as well. But yeah, whoever wants to go next. Favorite part of episode 2.
My favorite part is Maximus watching Titus die.
Because,
dude, that guy was gonna sentence him to death just for like not saving him sooner. Like,
right? That was his first mission. He's like a little first mission.
Yeah,
so no, I'm sorry, it's your turn. I'm saying it's his first mission. He's like, "You're gonna string you up and kill you." I'm like, "What the fuck?"
The guy with no power armor. Like, you're scared that he didn't react fast enough.
He was ready to sentence Maximus to death because he got his ass kicked
in front of him.
Yeah, like
they're gonna string you up. They're gonna string you up. You're gonna fucking die.
Sit back, kid.
I also like that scene because it introduces the Yaguai.
I thought it was going to be a death claw, by the way.
Really?
Me too.
I thought it was going to be a death claw.
But I do remember like death claws were very rare.
Yeah.
Like really, I think they all come from New Vegas, right? There's a vault that they were made in New Vegas, and then they like spread out throughout the states, but they're very like rare outside.
Did anyone think that bear was going to go down in one shot? Because I
didn't. I was like, they don't go down in one shot.
Yeah, dude, that's like 30 shotgun shells to the face, maybe.
Let alone with 10 millimeter, like 10 millimeter.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But
yeah, that was he was done.
That was cool too because like as soon as Titus dies, it just shows Maximus going like, "Yo, let's go!"
Yeah,
like he has a soul. He's not just some mindless brotherhood like brainwashed dude.
Yeah, for sure. Also that episode, real quick before Ham goes. Maximus gets the power armor, and like one of the first things he does is save somebody who was fucking someone's chickens.
Yeah.
Which I thought was again hilarious. They nailed that part of the show, especially.
Also,
I'm sorry.
I also thought like he
fucking my chickens.
His reaction to getting power armor is like the same reaction we had in Fallout 4 getting power armor.
Oh yeah, I was pumped, and yeah, you could see it. He was ecstatic about that. But Ham, what are your thoughts? What's your favorite part of episode 2?
Okay. They snuck out on that one, right? Like old girl snuck out.
Yeah, she's out. She even met up with that kind of weird dude who had like no pants on. He was like, "You want to live with me? You want to live with me? I'm gonna die soon. This could all be yours. This could all be yours."
Right. That kind of set it off a little bit. So like seeing her, leave, and I thought that was pretty wild because, old boy put his job on the line, right? He was supposed to be the door guy.
Yep, Chad.
Right. So he put his job on the line. The brother was just like dumbfounded that his sister wanted to go out and get dad. Like, he's a coward. So he doesn't want to do it. And he's just like, I can't believe you're doing it, but if you're going to do it, I'll support you. And then after he leaves, he's just like, I feel like a bitch.
Yeah.
He had that like revelation that like, man, I'm really not doing anything about anything right now. I'm just sitting here cowering away while my dad got taken. Mom's been gone. Sister's actually going out there to do something about it. And something just doesn't seem right here. Like he let kind of curiosity run him after his sister left. And like you could see like something was cooking in his brain, but he didn't know he didn't know how to go about it, nor did he want to like raise any alarms. Right?
Yeah.
Because he's still a coward. He's still a coward, but he's tired of being a coward.
Yes, he's fed up.
So he's going about it the best way that he can do it without attracting any type of attention. While sister's kind of walking out there, and I thought it was really nuts when and I believe this was the second episode still.
Yeah.
But you ended up meeting the guy in the glasses, right?
Yeah.
The guy in the glasses, and he ends up having something that he lodges into his neck that is mad important. That is mad important. And he feels the need to have to trek from one place all the way to the other. And all he has is his dog that he trained. And that dog was not supposed to be there.
Oh yeah.
Right? It was. I mean, no disrespect, but essentially, that was like the dog was like the Polish in the attic.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right? Where it's just like anytime there's a knock on the door, secret wall. Get your ass in there.
Yeah.
Right? So so I thought that the way that even a guy as insane as him needed companionship still.
Yes.
Right? And he found it within dogs that he tortured.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So like I thought just adding him into the mix of the story was kind of like a little extra element of, hey, there is some sort of secret cabal bullshit going on right now.
Yeah.
And dude doesn't look like he's doing this because he wants to. He looks like he's doing it because he's ordered to. Yeah. Nobody's lodging shit into their neck and hiding puppies because they like living on the edge. Like nobody's doing that. So like so I thought, I mean, that was probably my favorite part because it added a new element to the story that I wasn't quite sure about, and I didn't really see where they were really going with it, right? Because at the time that they introduced him, for all I know, this could have been happening pre-war,
yes.
or pre, or like before any of this kind of nutty stuff happened. But then you end up finding out that no, he's just in a very advanced place, vault or something like that, where he's allowed to conduct research, and he is to order And then once he conducts the research and gets whatever formula correct, he needs to then report and show his findings to somebody else. So, I mean, it's insane to be like, yo, I'm going to go out in this wasteland and travel. And by all means, I don't care if I survive. This needs to get to somebody for the sake of humanity.
Yes.
Big importance. So I thought that part was mad important. As for was somebody about to say something?
I was gonna say I'm so glad you're playing Fallout 3 because you're gonna find out more about that organization pretty soon in the game.
Okay, that's good to know. That's good to know. It's something to look forward to. As for seeing Michael Rappaport in there, like I was just like, how the hell are they going to use this? I hope he doesn't like end up like joking this kind of, because in my opinion, Michael Rappaport, he's a hit and miss for me. Sometimes he nails a character, and I feel like sometimes he's too much of himself.
Yeah, he's like Walmart Bill Murray.
So
I could see that.
Or Bill Burr, or whatever. I'm sorry.
So seeing him be there and just play the role of an asshole. That's all he was. Is playing a role of an elitist asshole. And he stuck to that character. Sure, there was some funny moments, but it wasn't like he was going out of his way to be funny. It was just funny the situation that he ended up in.
Yes.
So I thought that they used his character, and this was kind of the, in my opinion, this was kind of the show and how it kind of unfolded for a lot of the different characters in there. Although they brought famous people to the show, they didn't try to overuse their likeness or who they are to IDMB or something like that to make this show good. They just said, hey, here's a big time character, but he's playing a role that he usually doesn't play. And we're going to let the writing do the talking. We're not going to allow their presence of their celebrity or fame do anything other than be part of the credits.
Yeah.
Right? So you see the name Michael Rappaport. You see the name, what is it? Ella, right?
Ella Purnell.
Yeah, Ella Purnell, or the ghoul dude. Like I said, I'm terrible with names.
Walton Goggins.
Well, yeah, Walton Goggins. You see these names and you've seen those faces before, but they're not Kevin Harding you.
Oh yeah.
Where it's just like,
way to put it.
This is the same character as your other movie.
The Rock, too.
Yeah.
One.
You're not
The Rock playing as The Rock.
Exactly. So it was very, to me, it felt like, Goggins was like Vin Diesel in what's that movie where he's blind?
I don't know. What the hell is that?
Oof.
The movie where he's blind, Riddick.
Oh,
Riddick.
Oh, shit. All right.
So where it's like, yeah, sure, that name is Vin Diesel, but you can't say that acting wasn't fire.
Sure, yeah.
Where it's like he nailed that character to the point that you could take his name out of the credits, you could take the fame away, and you'd still know that he did he was fire. He nailed it. Right? So that's kind of the way I kind of looked at that particular part with Michael Rappaport. But watching the way that old boy Maximus kind of, seen what was happening. He's like, oh, this man's fucked, and I'm not going to save him. I'm not going to save him because these motherfuckers have been running me through the goddamn ringer. And I know if I save him, he's just going to, He's dying and he's still an asshole to me right now.
Yeah.
So he was just like, as soon as he realized, oh, this dude's dying and he's still a piece of shit to me, he's like, I'm just going to watch you die. And then I'm going to throw you out of this fucking suit. Because you're a piece of shit and I don't want to go back to base because all of those guys are pieces of shit too. I just got blamed for something that I didn't do. Remember that. Him being out there was a second chance for him, right? And he knows that, yo, if I'm reporting back to base saying that, yo, old boy in the power suit died, but I survived, they're going to think I killed him.
Yeah.
Because they already thought that I did that shit to my homie. Right? Yeah. They already thought that I fucked up my homie's foot. Now I'm out here with a dude in a power suit and he dies because he sucks. And they're going to think that I was the reason that this person fucked up or did whatever. So you know what? Instead, I'm just going to radio back, hey, I died, but Titus is great. Titus is doing just fine. And I'm going to be in this power suit and I'm going to be having the time of my life and actually having, so much power that nobody can deny me. For the first time in my life, I have so much power I'm undeniable. I see something wrong, I'm taking care of it. And he fucked up that dude that was fucking the chick. That was like his first line of work was, animality is not okay in my world.
He let the dude.
Actually, it's okay because then he beat up the farmer that was beating up the guy. That was that's just so fucking funny, dude.
Oh
my God. Fucking my chickens. He was just
fucking my chickens, man.
What was it? The third? What was it? The second episode that he ended up meeting old girl Ella.
That was. Well, he technically meets her in episode 2.
Okay, cool. But so he only takes that like little piece off of his mask just to say, "Hey, are you okay?"
Yep.
And just showing him that, "Hey, I'm human, and I'm not here to kill you." Yeah. I see that you're in a fucked up situation with the ghoul right now, and I feel like fucking He-Man. So I'm gonna save you. He was looking at her like, you the best damn thing I done seen out here, and I'm finna play Captain Sabo right now. I got it.
Captain Sabo. I love that.
So he, thinks he's He-Man, steps up, and the ghoul is like, I done seen a million of these suits, man. Take your ass off. Sent his ass fucking flying to another county.
Oh yeah, he cut that hose and then he flew. He flew. I don't know where he even landed, but he landed somewhere way off.
Oh, that man got sent to another county. And I thought that shit was hilarious. But that's when they kind of started to formulate and put some of the characters together and show you that the direction isn't as easy to understand as you may think. And I thought that was cool.
Absolutely.
Everybody that was in that scene, although they were all main characters, they were all there to prove themselves in different ways.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think episode 2 was probably, for me, one of the better episodes. For a lot of reasons. I like more character development on Maximus, and then obviously the fight in town with the ghoul, and what was that lady's name who was just shitting on Lucy when she came into her store. I think they said her name was like Ma June or something, but just shitting on, like, the way they set up that whole scene was really awesome. Episode 2 was great, but moving forward to episode 3. This one is where I'm not going to give it away, but my favorite character of the show starts getting a little bit of story, starts getting a little bit of intrigue. Now, episode 3, to just quickly recap on that, I mean, we get a little bit of backstory on Coop, or the Ghoul. We get a little bit of backstory. We meet his wife briefly, which is done really nicely, because when they do that scene, you think that he's meeting her for the first time, and then his kid comes out, and you're like, oh shit, they've been together for a minute at this point. So that was really cool. We're also introduced to the famous or infamous thumbs up pose from Coop for Vault-Tec. And Maximus, now pretending to be Knight Titus, like in the last episode, gets a new squire, which is amazing, by the way, because I don't know if you guys know who that is, but that's Johnny Pemberton, who's a comedian who's hilarious. So to see him in the show, like play a role in the show, like a pretty decent role in the show, is pretty awesome. Lucy meets up with the Ghoul, and I mean meets up. Lucy gets basically tortured by the Ghoul, and then the Ghoul says, "I'm not torturing you. I'm using you as bait to get that freakish monster to come out of the water."
Creature.
Yeah. And then
the gulper.
Exactly. They call it I never seen a gulper in Fallout.
I thought it was gonna be a mud crab there, to be honest with you.
They're in Fallout 76.
Not mud crab. I mean,
Mirelurk.
Mirelurk thing.
That's what I thought. I thought we were gonna.
I thought it was gonna be a Mirelurk, honestly. And then I was like, "What the hell?"
Actually, they're in the Fallout for Far Harbor DLC.
Are they? Why don't I remember the gulpers? All right. Well, I mean, I'll be playing through all that stuff again. But the next part, which is the character Norm, starts kind of his whole road of discovery or questions about what's going on in Vault 33. And also a key part for Norm in this episode is that he suggests, when asked what they should do about the prisoners they have from the Raider attack in Vault 33, he suggests that they should kill the Raiders. Which is something that whenever he says that, everybody in the Vault's just like, what the fuck are you talking about? They're just like, they're completely shocked. They're like completely oblivious to the idea that that's even a possibility. So it does a really good job setting the picture, or because the picture was already set in episode 1, but it does a really good job of reminding you of how insanely innocent everybody in Vault 33 is, or insanely oblivious to reality everyone in Vault 33 is the fact that whenever, oh crap, Mike just dipped out, is the fact that whenever presented with the option of, hey, we should kill these prisoners, they're just like, dude, nobody was even thinking that kind of thing. And then the episode ends, or doesn't end, but it's right near the end of the episode that we find out that Vault 33's water chip gets destroyed, which just sends everybody, completely removes everyone from the room. Like everybody just, as soon as they hear that, they just like, fuck it, I'm doing my own thing. I'm out of here. Kind of thing. So same question as last episode. What was your favorite part of episode 3? Vinny. Oh no, Vinny. What's going on?
I don't know.
Hey, sorry. Yeah, sorry.
All right, man. Favorite part of episode 3?
Episode 3 was... What was I can't remember the premise of episode 3. That's when Lucy gets caught by the Ghoul, right? And
yep.
I think my favorite part was when Maximus has his squire. Was that when they were camping that one night, and then Maximus tells the squire he's actually Maximus?
Yep.
Yeah, my favorite part was him branding the guy. He's like, oh, we can do that.
Can't believe I let you brand me.
That was hilarious. That cracked me up so bad. I was like, that. And after that, I think Lucy and Maximus finding was it Vault 4? Was that in that episode when they found Vault 4?
They find Lucy and Maximus meet up again in episode 4. So they don't find Vault 4.
Oh, they meet up again after that episode. Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, so they meet up again in episode 4. But Ham, what's your favorite part, episode 3, if you had to choose?
Episode 3?
Yes.
So is that chainsaw episode?
Well, technically, we can say that's the end of episode 2 because that's at the end of episode 2. Wilzik gives her the chainsaw, and she just okie dokie, and just cuts his head off.
Yeah. So I'm gonna. I mean, I wish I would have remembered that, but my memory is terrible. I just know that I've watched every episode, and I can remember how I felt in those situations. I just can't remember each episode, like every scene for each episode.
Yeah, I get that.
Which means I just need to go back and rewatch it again, which I have no problem with doing at all. But
me too.
But I tell you, like that part where they cut off the head and she ended up walking off with it. She even took off part of her, took off part of her pit boy that did, navigation or like, GPS tracking.
Mm-hmm.
And stuck it up that nose of that dude's head.
Mm-hmm.
Like, she had no idea what she was doing with that. Her only mission was, I'm getting my dad. I don't even know what I'm walking into.
Yeah.
Right. God damn. I'm kind of mad that I kind of forgot a little bit of the order because, man, if I would have remembered episode 2, watching that dude's foot get knocked off,
get blasted, shot his foot clean off.
Fucking blasted.
Got deleted.
And then them putting that blender on his leg. Give him a new foot was something I'd have never seen in a show.
Yeah,
outside of
that
like
was
Saw.
horrible.
Outside of Saw. In Saw, they did it to kill people. They were doing it in the show to help him. I'm like, yo, this is supposed to be helpful.
Jim's Lens.
Terrible. This is terrible, but he's all walking in the desert with old girl bleeding out
on cyanide,
and he's just like, I ain't gonna make it. He's like, all right, he's like, all right, pop the bean, I'm gonna die. You're gonna have to like as soon as I my pulse hits 0, go on ahead and take this and just take it and just take what they need. Because I'm cooked. I'm fucking cooked right now. And when he saw that, when she saw that head off and got to walking and whatnot, she already knew, something ain't right. So somebody's seeking this person, right? And I'm seeking my father. So I'm just gonna do whatever he just told me to do. I'm gonna saw this thing off and continue to keep moving. Was it that episode that the ghoul caught up with her?
That was episode 3 when the ghoul caught up with her. You had that whole interaction of the ghoul torturing her. Not really torturing, but using her as bait for the gulper. Yeah.
So that gulper, I mean, obviously, we've seen some level of detail when it comes to gruesomeness, right? Especially when, that leg got shot off, Michael Rappaport got killed. We've seen some level of detail there, but I had never, or I can't say I'd never seen, but like, it's very rare to see a show go as hard as they did to make a fictional beast come to life like they did with the Gulper. That Gulper looked mad real.
That shit looked freaky.
And like the different type of sets of teeth that he had in his mouth, he looked like the ultimate old dirty bastard. Right? Where that teeth game was fucked up in the mouth of that
bunch of
Gulper.
fingers.
Yeah.
It was insane. So the Gulper goes to attack old girl, takes the head, right? And the old girl was just like, God damn it, but I do got, a GPS tracker on it. So I'm gonna get it back. But god damn it, like I didn't anticipate this. Gets caught up by the ghoul, gets tortured into bringing the Gulper back. I'm just sitting back like, yo, she wants the head back, but not like this.
Yeah, you both have the same mission, honestly. You didn't need to do all that.
So she's getting tortured, dropped into the water repeatedly like bait. And like you could see that the ghoul he didn't see her as a threat as much as a tool.
Yeah.
Right? Like I don't care if you live or die. I just need what I need so I can continue my mission.
Exactly.
And if you show me that you're any type of threat, I'm gonna kill you. Like he was extremely cutthroat. And he wasn't scared of shit. And I thought that was nuts. All he wanted was what he needed. And he knew that, and you could tell like bro was kind of sick or something was going on with him during the time of him repeatedly drowning old girl. Like you could tell like bro needs some sort of medical attention. Like something ain't right here.
Yeah.
Like he's overpowered. He's way too smart. And he's a goddamn demon with the pistol. Right? And let me talk about that pistol real quick. What the fuck is that thing?
It's
shooting
cannonballs. I don't know what the fuck caliber that is. That shit is
I don't know, but that
Dude,
thing.
I was like trying to think, what gun is that? Like,
nah, I've never seen that in Fallout. I think that's some specific to the show shit.
Boom, boom, boom.
Yeah. That gun didn't go bang; it went thunk.
Yeah, it was like a
grenade
mini,
launcher.
like not a grenade launcher, not grenade launcher. It was
It's
weird.
like shooting mini nukes. Like you saw the bullets and what they look like.
This man shooting full on bowling balls at people. Right? Like there ain't no way a 22 to a fucking 9 or even a 3. I'm thinking this is like 50 cal or above.
Oh yeah.
Because
It's
this is knocking
tearing
off
holes.
legs. This is making holes in people's chests. This guy's gulpers feeling uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
like this is like just wild. But yeah, I just wanted to shout out the gun real quick. But yeah, that whole situation with her, the gulper and the ghoul was just like kind of telling that he's not really just he's not just gunslinging to kill people. He's on a mission.
Yeah. Trying to do something.
And their missions kind of intertwined, and he's so outside of the loop of working with people anymore. He's so like fuck everybody that he doesn't realize that he might be looking for the same type of answers that she is.
Mm-hmm.
But he doesn't know that because he's just so involved with, I need to get to the bottom of this. It's been hundreds of years and I'm tired of this bullshit.
Yeah.
That's what
I I gotta say my favorite part of the episode, because this is episode 3 we're still talking about, right?
Yes.
That's the part where Maximus gets jumped, right, by the guys trying to steal his armor.
Yep.
I gotta
Oh
say,
my
watching
God.
this little this scrawny little fucker get his head
He's
just
on the
crushed.
screen right
Yeah,
now.
that's why watching his head get crushed like a melon. I watched it 3 times. I watched that scene
Oh yeah.
repeatedly.
I rewound that shit too. I was like,
I was like, just the way, and then like this little peanut, what was left of his brain, like how he just dropped it. Like,
he looks up at his
God,
hand as it's happening.
It felt so good, man. I love it.
It
That's my
felt
favorite
so
scene. Like, dude, watching it, dude, it was like cathartic to me. It was like, because he wasn't doing any of the fighting and he was shit talking. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
he's doing all the talking, none of the fighting.
None of the fighting. And then just, we see where that got him? Dead.
Right.
So I just that's my favorite part. That's all I got to say, because I watched that a few times. Loved it.
I agree
My
with
favorite
that. I that's exactly why I took the screenshot. I tried to get, I mean, it would have been graphic to get the screenshot of his head getting, but like I tried to get that screenshot, I couldn't. But that's exactly why I took that screenshot of this guy right there, because just that part, because he's just laughing, having a good time, harassing Maximus, and then Maximus grabs him, and then you can see his eyes look up at what just grabbed him, and then his head is gone within like a half a second.
Yeah.
And it was pretty fantastic. But moving on to episode 4, this the same thing kind of applies. So we're just going through these. What's your favorite part and everything, and then at the end we're gonna wrap it up with our favorite.
Man, let me just for 10 seconds. Let me just say, the level of detail they put into that guy's head exploded.
It was nuts. It was
insane.
So much.
Like when he wrapped his hand around his head and just lightly squeezed,
yeah,
his eyes turned bloodshot. You could see parts of the armor's fingers going through part of the head, and it was cracking. You could hear it cracking and pop, and then it just exploded, and it was just like there ain't no coming back for that.
You had the guy who was actually fighting Maximus look over at his dead friend and just go, "What the fuck? I'm getting out of here."
Yeah, he was good. He's like, "I'm out. I'm done. We ain't robbing you no more. We ain't robbing you no more. You clearly know how to use that suit. We don't know what the fuck we do."
That was a fantastic scene.
I thought it was crazy that he got that second wind like that, though. Like he got his ass beat, and he was just like that. At that moment, I knew I liked Maximus.
Yeah,
because
I'm glad you said that, because that was kind of my moment too.
Because he was just like, "Man, I'm tired of getting my ass beat." That was the moment where he's just like, "I'm not putting up with this shit anymore. I've got my ass beat plenty of times at camp. What y'all just did was light work."
Yeah.
He got up, picked up like a tire iron?
Yeah, and beat the shit out like 2 or 3 people.
And then he started getting his ass beat again, and then he reached that hand in there and said, "What y'all think of this?"
That dude panicked. He's like, "I gotta get the fuck out of here." Oh my god, I really did love that. But episode 4, and same question, guys. Episode 4, want to know what your favorite part is, and if you need to be like caught up, just to give some quick points. I mean, this is Lucy tries to escape from the ghoul. Doesn't make it very far because she runs into the pit that is, as we will find out later, Shady Sands. So she runs into that, gets caught. The ghoul catches up with her, and now they're back together again. So that escape was very short-lived. Lucy then gets sold by the ghoul to an organ harvester. An organ harvester who was played by big deal for me because I love this actor, who's played by Matt Berry. Lucy manages to escape and frees everyone in the process, including people probably shouldn't be freed. because they were feral ghouls, and that turned bad pretty quick. Then this part here gives me one of my favorite lines from the show. Chet hooking up with the eye patch lady. Gives me one of my favorite lines from the show, and I'm sure you guys know what that line is. That's one wet lady.
That's one.
And I because as soon as he said that, like given the fact that she's pregnant, I was like, oh, that's not what that is. I was like, that's not what that is. You should be ready. And then the final point I had on this episode was Norm taking Chet to investigate Vault 32. Let me bring up that photo here. But this is a photo from that where, I mean, there's a bunch of shit going on in Vault 32 that they find. But I thought that part was very interesting. The dead body next to, like, in blood written on the wall, we know the truth. And it gives a pretty good backstory, or a pretty good you can draw a conclusion that the people in Vault 32 found out what the vault was really about and revolted against management of the vault. And it just led to the death of everybody in that vault, pretty much. So, yeah, I want to pass it off to you guys. Favorite part from episode 4?
I'll keep it short and sweet. I thought, what she said, like, I thought you were like going to make me a sex slave or something. Oh, of course. They're like, ew, of course not. I'm just going to harvest your organs and make her pass out. It just knocks her out like immediately.
Organs.
What a disgusting idea.
Yeah. Just that was my favorite part. Like, that was just so funny, and really, like, is Fallout like in a bubble. Like, it's just, you know, it's going to be awful one way. It's going to be awful one way or another. It might not be the same awful you were thinking, but it's going to be bad regardless.
You thought I was going to do that awful thing. I'm going to do this awful thing.
Yeah. It was just perfect. And dude, that scene with the feral ghouls. What was that lady? My name's Martha.
My name is Martha. My name's Martha.
And then, like, she, like, comes out of it and she's, like, still saying it repeatedly. I'm like, oh, dude.
Yeah,
that
she's got to die.
Violent. Oh,
she's got to die.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm glad you brought up the organ harvesting part, because that was honestly my favorite as well. Vinny, what do you think? What's your favorite part from episode 4?
That was my favorite part as well. I love how it was ran by 2 stoners, dude. It was just hilarious.
Yeah,
what they want,
really low effort stoners.
yeah,
really low.
Do 60. They're just sitting watching movies, man. And then that whole robot scene, and then when she releases the ghouls, and then she said, "I said all of them," and they tried to tell her, like, "Ladies, they're not. Those are different. Like,
those are different.
Those are not the ghouls."
And they were.
For. Yeah, and
they turned on her quick.
Out. Yep, that was hilarious. I thought that was so funny. And then, like, I just thought it was so funny. They're so stoned out that they actually listened to her instead of
they didn't put up any fight.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, we'll do it. But what about you, Ham? Favorite part from episode 4?
So yeah, going into that other vault, because you were interested in what the hell was going on over there for all them freaks of nature to have been settled in there, knowing that there's going to be some sort of marriage to come, right? Because it's not like they opened the door and they just ran in and just started killing everybody. They opened the door and they played as if they knew when to hit the lick, right? So so it was very orchestrated. But when old boy walked into that vault with the other guy and went in there to see what was going on, what was that scrawny dude's name?
Norm and Chet went into the vault. Norm's a little
Norm. All of a sudden, when he realizes, hey, my suspicion is accurate.
Oh yeah,
something is fucked up. His chest is slowly starting to puff out.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And you could see his homie that was like him at first continue to be that bitch.
Yep.
He continued to be that bitch, and Norm was like, "We're not the same anymore."
Yes.
Norm is like, I'm fed up. Are you gonna be fed up? And the guy was just like, I'm just trying to live.
Mhm.
That guy was just like, I what would I do anyways? And old boy was like, you could do this, that, and the third. And he's like, I don't want to. I just got me a bad bitch. I don't want to go nowhere. I just want to take care of this other man's baby. so like it was nuts, like seeing it was almost like he was looking at a mirror, right? Of his former self versus the hard Norm that he ended up becoming. And that sparked him going over there and seeing that light in the pasture, just a bunch of weeds, essentially. There was just nothing there. And those people have, and he realized those people and their bodies and what had happened to them had happened a long time ago.
I'm glad you brought that up. 2 years, because there was a dialogue that said the last biosignal that we got is from 2 years ago. So those people been dead for 2 years, just sitting there.
And and on top of that, he's thinking, yo, if this happened 2 years ago, my own home knew something was fucked up and they didn't want to say nothing.
Uh-huh.
So that's kind of what I put together right then and there, is like, he knows that there is something wrong with my own home. They're supposed to be communicating, right? They're supposed to be in somewhat of constant contact, and they're not. And in my home right now, the people that are there, somebody knew something was wrong here and nobody wanted to speak on. So I'm going to poke and prod now when I go back and see who isn't really acting right. And he went into Mr., Burt Macklin, FBI. Got to figure this out.
Right? Shout out to Parks and Rec.
Yeah, he went. He got his Burt Macklin on, and he started, just asking questions, but being very kind of vague about what he means, why he's asking it, and then he starts to notice somebody's catching on.
Yes,
somebody's catching on. These two dudes, these two bozos, are too busy trying to figure out who's going to represent the Green Party. We're going to represent. We're going to be the Green Party. We're going to be voted for, but we ain't really being taken serious.
Mm-hmm.
We're just ballot guys. We're just on the ballot to be on the ballot. They don't know that, but that's the reality of who they are. Because what was it, that episode that he finds out about 31? Or
no, he finds out about 31 at the end of, he goes into 31 at the end of episode 7.
No, not going into 31, but like finding out like overseers.
I think that's episode 5.
Okay,
could be wrong on that.
Yeah. Okay, so I'll slow down real quick, but yeah, that my favorite part was when he went in there and his whole demeanor changed, and the way he was, like, he went from being a total bitch to being like, yo, I've got to be an investigator, because if I don't do it, who else is going?
That's like serious character development for Norm. Serious character development. Legendary Yobi says he's my favorite character. I mean, I don't blame you. I don't blame you, man. Because
Yeah,
he goes,
great.
he really becomes like a standout character the longer the show goes on, and by the end, he's on to everything. He's on to everything. But episode 5, since I mean we just kind of want to bleed into episode 5 because Ham was about to mention it. I obviously same question. What's your favorite part from episode 5? Ham, you were talking just now about how he got on the terminal and found out that the overseer had some communication with Vault 31. He got his suspicions then and there. And then obviously later in the series, he goes into Vault 31 and finds some things out. But what's your favorite part? Anybody from episode 5?
You go first. 'Cause I'm trying to think right now.
Yeah. So
Mine
you're
was,
asking me first? No, go ahead, Vinny. Go ahead.
Mine was anticipation of like what happened in those vaults. At first, I thought like, oh, were they just like farming people to eat? Like,
Yeah,
that's what I thought was happening the whole time. Luckily, it wasn't as bad as I thought it was, but still pretty terrible.
Mhm.
I liked that we got to focus more on Rico or Norm.
Rico, yeah.
And because I think he's an interesting character, even though he doesn't talk much. I think he has a interesting arc and character development that leads him to be, he's kind of like the person's point of view, right? The audience's. He's like, we want to know what's in the vaults. We want to know like what's going on. Like the whole adventure with Lucy and everything's going on, but we want to know like what the hell is happening in the vaults,
Mm-hmm.
So that was my favorite part, just him investigating and kind of like going, like doing things he knows he shouldn't do because it'll get him in trouble, but he still does it anyways.
Yeah, definitely. Ham, what's your favorite part? Episode 5. Oh, you're muted.
Can you kind of give me a rundown of
Sure.
the main?
So episode 5, this is where Lucy and Maximus are like officially together, kind of roaming around. They run into in fact, let me bring it up here. They run into this group of people with this lady in it, and
right. Good.
And shout out to this because they haven't confirmed it, but I'm pretty sure that character right there is Cricket from Fallout 4, or at least very much based on Cricket from Fallout 4. So shout out to them for that, for doing their research. But they run into those people. Maximus gets shot with an old dirty tooth, which this is a throwback to episode, I think it was episode 2, might have been episode 3, where Maximus sold his tooth at that place in order to get the thing fixed.
Right.
And I'm wondering, like, how insane would it be if he got shot with his own tooth? If he got shot with his own tooth from that gun. I don't know if that's true or if that's what happened, but I mean, he definitely did get shot with the tooth, so it's interesting to think about nonetheless. But like I mentioned, Norm and his suspicions that the overseer or the new overseer at Vault 33 has something to do with what's been going on in 32 and 31. Norm also asks the eye patch lady, whose name I think was Steph. There was a question that he asked her. It says, how's Vault 31 different from here? And her answer is that, quote, the mashed potatoes were a little better. And Norm says, that's exactly what my dad told me. And then she just goes, well, then it must be true. And I feel like from that point on, she's not only is the overseer onto him, but she's also onto him from that point on. Like she knows she knows what he's up to, what he's trying to find out, and everything. Lucy revisits the place, revisits the remains of Shady Sands with Maximus, and Maximus kind of gives the whole story of like that's where he was from. And that's where you see him like emerging from the refrigerator that he survived in. It was after the blast at Shady Sands. So that gives a little bit of backstory on that. Vault 33 starts the process of cleaning Vault 32. So wiping away pretty much any evidence that happened that is there from Vault 32 about what happened. Vault 33 and the Overseer are just wiping all of that away. And then it ends with Lucy and Maximus finding their way into Vault 4, I think it was.
Okay. Well, if you, I'm not sure how many people noticed this, but I know I noticed it. What's going on?
Oh,
I think that was Vinny's mic and like picking up his wife in the background.
oh, damn.
Oh, okay. All right. So going back to like Vault 33, or not 33, but 32, and those folks going from 33 to clean 32. Norm noticed that this place has already been touched.
Yeah.
This place was touched in between us being here the last time and us coming to clean it now.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the messages are wiped off the wall. Some of the bodies are missing. And they're cleaning up a second time when they're supposed to be going over there for the first time to clean.
Yes.
So, like, I thought that part was really telling because that gave you just a little bit more of a clue that, hey, somebody in 33 is directly involved 100%. Like, there's no possibility of like outsiders coming in and then leaving, coming in and leaving. No, it is within 33 completely. And whatchamacallit, the person that ends up getting the Overseer job gets like kind of exposed.
Yes. Betty. Name was Betty.
Yep.
Right. Yeah, Betty got kind of exposed. Old girl, eye patch, exposed as well. Saying the exact same thing. So now he knows Betty's lying. He knows old girl with the patch is lying. And he knows his dad's been lying to him his whole life.
Yes.
So he's trying to put that together and still remain in good graces of enough to not get kind of erased, essentially.
Yeah.
Right? So like there's that curiosity. As for what's going on in the land, it was really good seeing what's Ella's character's name?
Lucy.
Okay, yeah, Lucy.
Yeah.
It's good. It was really interesting seeing Lucy when she realized, yo, y'all already recolonized and we just stayed down there.
Yes. Yeah,
you know, like
that's a big moment.
Like I missed what did they call that? Like regenerification or
Reclamation Day.
Reclamation Day. Oh man, I'm thinking of downtown Chicago. Identify. But anyways, yeah. So she realizes she missed Reclamation Day, and a second fallout essentially happened.
Mm-hmm.
So like, she's thinking like, you know, now I'm getting bamboozled, and I'm realizing that out here on the streets. Norm already knows there's fuckery going on. She's oblivious to it. She's just going out to go get her dad. She doesn't know that there's any fuckery. Right? Until she realized, oh, wait. Shady was recolonized? Wait a second. What happened? And then the type of disrespect the ghoul was giving her by trolling her with the water.
Oh, yeah. I completely forgot about that. That was
You
glad
see
you brought
her
that up.
lips all dried up, beat up. She's
Yeah.
like extra pale. She's barely able to keep walking. Like, yo, that was a rough moment for her, and she ended up drinking that nasty ass water, and I was just like, that's fucking gross
Oh yeah.
and whatnot.
Disgusting.
So I mean, I thought that was pretty nuts. But yeah, I mean, I'm trying to remember what else. I mean, that's all I kind of got.
That's fair. That's fair. I mean, yeah, I think episode 5, like, because it sets up a lot of it sets up more of the character arc for Norm, and so episode 5 is one of the better episodes of the show for me. So, I think the whole thing with the whole mystery behind 31 and 32, and how he's going about uncovering it while trying to do it under the radar is really, really well done. But episode 6, Mike, did you go on episode 5? You went on episode 5.
Yeah. Wait.
Okay.
Did I? Honestly, if I didn't, I'll just make it quick. I just really like
Sure.
the scene of when they went into Vault 32 and everything is gone and it's clean again and it looks almost great, like nothing happened, and like how Ham said like something like wipe away the blood, and it's like literally there is a part where like there's like paint smeared across where like blood was splattered everywhere. Like I think that was a great scene of like, all right, even though we knew obviously something was completely messed up from episode 4, like now we know that like everyone, like the higher ups at least of the Vault, are in on it completely.
Yes.
The overseer absolutely knows what's happening, knows the backstory, and I need to find out why. And that was definitely my favorite scene.
Gotcha. So
It's episode 5. Wait a minute. I think I did already go. That was a long we had a lot to say on that one. Sorry about that.
That's totally fine. We got 6, 7, and 8 to go. 8's gonna be the longest one because 8, we all know the shit that goes down at 8. So episode 6, again, keeping it kind of the same format. What was your favorite part from episode 6? If you need a little bit of a refresher here, it starts with Coop's advertisement for Vault Tech, which features, in fact, let me bring it up here, features a family by the name of the Hawthorns, and they play a pretty big role later on in the show. But it starts with that advertisement. Coop also meets Bud Askins, who plays another big role later on in the show. We'll find out. We meet the guy named what's his name, Sebastian Leslie, who again is played by Matt Berry, who does the voice of not Codsworth. Is it Codsworth? Is it his name Codsworth? I just call him Mr. Handy Robot. I don't know if his name's Codsworth. I know Codsworth is from Fallout 4. But he does the voice of the Mr. Handy Robot. And he mentions that he sold his voice, the rights to his voice to the Mr. Handy Robot manufacturers, which ties in with the fact that we heard his voice as a Mr. Handy Robot earlier in the show. Lucy and Maximus find themselves in Vault 4, where Maximus's wounds are being tended to by doctors in the vaults after he got shot with a nasty ass tooth. Lucy finds out the leader of Vault 4 is actually a survivor of the nuke that went off in Shady Sands. So that sets up a lot of things later in the series. And then one of the funniest moments from the show was Lucy asking Maximus if he wanted to have sex. Happened in that episode, which I thought was great. Coop's wife Barb mentions that they need to secure a spot in a vault. She needs that job to secure a spot in the vault, and he suggests that, hey, we're rich, we can just buy a spot. And then she answers with one of the good vaults. And Coop is kind of dumbfounded by what that means, and she doesn't explain it. So that's a big part. Maximus kind of falling in love with Vault 4, the amenities and everything, having a hot shower, food, and all that stuff. He never had that before, so he's ready to stay there for the rest of his life, pretty much. Lucy finds the timeline of what happened to Shady Sands. Lucy stumbles into Vault. Hold on. I don't know why. Oh, stumbles into a ritual in Vault 4 where many of the survivors of Shady Sands are basically worshiping this person called the Flame Mother, who turns out to be Moldaver, in an attempt to bring back Shady Sands, which was just fucking insane to me. Moldaver was also the leader of the group that Coop was invited to find out the truth behind Vault Tech. We find out that Moldaver was alive back then as well, which is a big part in the story. And then the final thing I have here is Lucy tries to convince Maximus that Vault 4 is shady, but Maximus is pretty much fully sunk into his new life in the Vault. And that is the last point of the episode. So, yeah, with that. Oh, Blind Giant, what's up? Hey, Sir X-Man, no problem. I appreciate you for stopping by. You got time? Oh, time for you to come in for a minute. I mean, hold up. Let's see if you want to come in.
I personally, yeah, I don't care. Definitely.
Let me send. Ham, could you send him a link?
Sure. Yeah. I got him.
Good stuff. Good stuff. We'll get you in here, bud. But yeah, Mike, favorite part, episode 6.
Episode 6. I just like when they were looking around and realizing, they're all mutated in some form. It was just,
they meet the overseer as one fucking eye.
one eye. And I was like, don't go to floor 12. Don't. And he's like, how dare you mention floor 12? And it's funny that just so much drama happens because they all thought at least she knew. Like how dare you mention something so terrible when because I think that's an episode 7 thing I'm about to talk about. But so I'll try not to. But yeah, that's honestly my favorite part is just them meeting the people in the vault. And it's always nice. I love seeing when a vault is actually kind of functioning, and just not being a complete shithole. Where just awful things are happening. I thought it was hysterical when she went to the that prayer, not the ritual thing for the fire lady. I freaking can't remember a damn thing. And they're getting naked. They're getting naked. And she's like, what? And she's thinking about it, and then she's like, no.
She's like, no, I'm not gonna do that.
Yeah, she has a moment where she's kind of like, maybe, and then she's like, no. But yeah, that was that whole. I love that vault. That was an awesome scene.
Absolutely. I'm gonna add Sir X-Man to the stage.
Oh, what Blind says? You mean use my cock?
That was hilarious. That was one of the funniest parts. Listen. This is it happens to some guys, not me, obviously, but I know sometimes it gets like a pimple and just explodes, and she's like, "That's normal." So, all right, but yeah, Sir X-Man, what's up? How you doing, bud?
This show better get a 10, it better get an Emmy, and it better get the other one. It better get all those awards because
it'll win some awards. It's gonna win awards.
Best things I've seen. Actually, in the past couple of years, if you want to know the truth, as far as television shows.
I would agree with that.
Yeah.
I'd absolutely agree with that.
But yeah, you're on 6 now, right?
Episode 6.
Yeah, because 5 would have started a big turning point.
Yes.
Man, when everything started to come together. But episode 6, oh my God. That was like, what are they doing? It's all coming together. What's his name is coming back with the head, and he had one of his old friends have his backing to the overseer. And next thing, what did he say? She said something. Man, to have so much loyalty from a person shows you mean something. And then he pulled him into that room with him and said, I want to see you be my number 2. I want to see you lead. You've shown that you have the sternest stuff that we need.
She like, smack me, daddy.
I know, right? He was like, I knew I saw something in you. And then he told him the truth about what happened. And that even gave him more cred to the overlord, you know? And I was like, oh, brother, don't come up now. So, and then the way it carried on and it lured you and it round you into episode 6, 7. No, 6 is the one where he was going to bring the head to him. 7 is the one where he showed it to him. And then he changed everything. Then they started going on that skit. But I know what number we're on. That's why I have to do that. And then where he gave old girl the kiss, you know, and all that. So I mean, it was flawless. I loved it.
Nice. Yeah, episode 6 was one of the stronger episodes.
Yeah, that was the one where, real quick, man, that was the one where he left old boy all alone, right? And then old boy got killed in the trap or something like that. The one that tried to steal it in the first place. I thought that was so funny. And the guy in the booth in episode 6, the one with all the traps, man, he was hilarious.
That's episode 7. You're talking about episode 7.
No, that was episode 6.
I think that was episode 6.
No, that was the beginning. That was towards the end of episode 6. Then they rolled into episode 7 with that guy still being there.
Gotcha.
Right, because that's where that guy ended up after he got his foot fixed in episode 6. Because episode 6 was where that guy did that concoction, and we all saw the foot growing back, gross and everything, growing back. That was episode 6, because that was also the guy, and actually in the beginning of it, when she left the vault, where the guy had the mech, right, the mech suit, and he beat him up because he thought he was the guy that was ripping the other guy off his shit. He's like, my bad. I'm sorry. I got the wrong guy. I loved it. Loved it.
Nice.
So, yeah. But they're rolling it all together, so I love how they're doing it, dude. The storytelling is amazing. All right, go ahead, man. I'm going to shut up.
You're all good, man. You're all good. Storytelling is amazing in the show. Ham, I don't think you've gone yet, though. What, from episode 6, what's your favorite part?
Trying to remember what all happened there in particular.
So I got a little bit of a slide here. This is where they're in the vault. We meet. Yeah, they're in the vault. They Maximus is suspicious of it, but eventually he gets he gets sucked into it. He's living his life as far as he's concerned. We get this conversation between Coop and his wife, where his wife says that I need this job because it will get us a spot in the vaults. And Coop just says, well, I can buy us a spot in the vaults. I got the money. And she's like, one of the good vaults. And I took a screenshot specifically of that because that was a pretty telling line, in my opinion.
Right.
Like, we can't just be in any vault. We have to be in one of the good ones. We have to.
Right. And that's when you kind of had a feeling that this may not be the ghoul's fault at all. That's that's one of the moments where you're like, huh, well, what is actually going down over here? Like, this whole thing looks like he was like Mr. Problematic. But it turns out that he was just as surprised as everybody else. He just so happened to find out about it a lot earlier. than everybody else. And he didn't know exactly when it was going to happen. He just knew that, something ain't right. Something ain't right with this situation. And, we had, I think it's episode 7 when we get the white noise. Is that right?
Right. That's when we find out what it all comes together near the beginning. Yeah. At episode 7.
8 is the white noise. With
episode 8 is the white noise.
It's the finale when everything comes together, where we get the realization of what his wife did. We meet Hank again,
right?
Also, yes, also in episode 8. Not to get too deep into it because we're on episode 6, but also in episode 8 there is, I don't know if you guys picked up on it, Betty, the overseer in Vault 33, the current overseer, is in episode 8 as, I think, the receptionist at Vault-Tec.
Yeah.
My favorite part, if I'm gonna be extra specific about my favorite part of episode 6. Episode 6 taught you a lesson that you learn as a child. And that is, and it kind of tails off toward it in episode 7, but you start to learn it a little bit as maybe I don't know how to judge this community.
Especially with the Vault girl. Yeah, you're right. That's what she learned in episode 6.
Because they were mad creepy. Everybody in there was mad creepy. They looked like they had some sort of wild science thing going on with them. And they were the equivalent to the geeks at school back in the day, where it's just nobody wants to hang out with these guys.
Oh, Revenge of the Nerds type stuff, right?
Right. Like these guys were shunned here. Right. And my favorite part in particular to episode 6 is the moment that I was like, oh, don't get trapped, but I get it. Where old boy put on his slippers.
He put on that robe and was he's ready to call it quits.
He was ready to retire. That boy put on that robe and looked at that assortment that he had on the table, and he was like, well, they ain't trying to kill me. They were, bro said, what's a hot shower?
I thought that was the end of 5 when that happened.
I thought that was
episode. That was.
Yeah,
I thought that was the end of 5. So that means that was right after he kidnapped her, and he freed her at the beginning of 6. Then, correct?
Who kidnapped who? I'm sorry.
He kidnapped. No, he came after the girl did all the chaos. That's right, and let those people free, because she did that in episode 5. And then it cut over.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, yeah. That's the organ harvester. That was episode 4, I think. 4?
Right.
Yeah.
So that means he must have. Remember, that means he came back in 5, and that's when he got comfortable and saw all this little drugs.
Yes.
Because 6 was something a little different, because he got out of there, and they actually took advantage. That was when they took advantage of him, because they went and captured him from that landlord guy that said, I'm the mayor and sheriff of this town. And then, right. And then he took him over. He just body shamed all of them. Especially, I liked it what he did with that guy that was talking all that crap. And then he just came and said, now what you gonna do?
Sir X-Man, why are you doing all this talking during every time?
I'm sorry, dude.
On the podcast.
No, I'm sorry. I just wanted to get the line straight. I apologize. I overdid it, bro.
Every time.
I'm going to shut up, my friend. I apologize. I love you, Ham. Good.
Sure. But
don't.
Anyways, I thought it was also pretty interesting within that episode, just like as a little extra little piece of something that I really liked was like I left episode 1 and 2 like fuck Moldover, right? But in episode 6, she has like a really good reason for dude to listen in on his wife.
Yes.
And she is all about she was all about I'm not gonna tell you, I'm gonna let fix your shit. Yeah, she was all about I'm not gonna tell you nothing. Find out for yourself and report back to me and tell me what you think. She was all about that. Like I'm not gonna ruin it for you because I know as soon as I say something, you're not gonna believe me. So take this earpiece, you figure it out for yourself. And let me know how you feel about it. And the conflict that the ghoul ended up having, like, man, I don't want to listen in on my wife, but these people are really certain that she ain't doing things right. And then that's when you started to notice like the tension between the relationship, where it's like you think that he's in control of the family, but it's really her.
Yep.
She's in full control. He's just the face of the family.
Absolutely. It's interesting, and it sets up really well. Episode 7, which let's go ahead and get in episode 7.
Damn, you'll be out here being cold as ice.
Get him the fuck out of here. Save that shit for GRG. Oh, God bless. His mic started to go nuts for a second. I was like, I don't know what the fuck that is. But all right. Episode 7. Same question. I'm gonna run through a little bit of what happened here. Yeah. Because Sir X-Man, I'm telling you, Sir X-Man was talking about episode 7.
Yeah.
When he was talking. So but episode 7 opens with the ghoul and an altercation with that family. Ends up killing that man's, or both of that man's, both sons of that dude, because he killed that one son before he came there, and then while he was there, he's like, "Yo, are you gonna draw me for what I did to your brother?" And he reached for the gun, and he was dead almost instantly. So he ended up killing both of that dude's sons. At the end of episode 6, my God. At the end of episode 6,
my empathy for him kind of fell even more, to be honest with you.
Sure, yeah, I get that. I feel, and I saw like a lot of people say that too, where it's like, yeah, that was shitty.
Hope your kid's dead too, personally. After that,
at the end of episode 6, Lucy discovers the experiments on the 12th floor and Vault 4, and is banished with supplies from Vault 4. After thinking she was probably going to get killed. They made it seem like they were about to behead her. So, I mean, I don't think she expected to just be let go. The overseer of Vault 4. Maximus shows up while she's being let go and just fuck shit up for a little bit.
He sentenced you to death by being sent to the surface.
2 weeks of supplies.
Yeah, 2 weeks. Yes, we'll help you bring it to the surface. Or it's so funny.
Yeah, we'll get someone to carry it to the surface for you. It was hilarious.
God, I love that show, man. It's so good.
That's great.
And he walked in there like a walking and talking Christopher Reeve. Christopher Reeves, man. He's tossing suckers all over the place, man. It is mad disrespect.
He was ready to set shit straight, and he didn't need to. He did not need to. Moldaver tells Coop that she knows his wife and suggests Voltec's ultimate plan is to drop the bombs themselves. Overseer of Vault 4 shows Lucy a videotape that shows the Hawthorns, which we brought up a little bit ago, the family of scientists, and the ad with Coop. But shows the Hawthorns were running experiments on people on the 12th floor in Vault 4. I think their experiments were based on the effects of radiation on humans. So that would explain all the mutations and shit in Vault 4, which clears that part of the story up. Maximus comes clean to Lucy about who he is, which is a pretty huge moment. Probably one of my more favorite moments of the show in general. Thaddeus gets turned into a ghoul by the chicken fucking doctor. That's what I have in my notes here. And then Norm finds the prisoners that raided Vault 33 dead in their cell from rat poison. Okay, so, and I have also in notes, the overseer Betty pulls Norm aside and points out that when he called for violence at a previous meeting, his words have meaning, and that was kind of the effect of his words. So we got that, and also the scene at the radio tower, or the radio station, with Thaddeus talking about the music and how people don't appreciate it, and then complimenting the dude on his traps. That just apparently people were so pissed off with his music, they were just coming there to kill him in droves, and they all got killed in traps. So that was great. And then it ends with Lucy splitting up with Maximus to get the head to Moldaver, while Maximus covers for Thaddeus, who is now realizing that he's a fucking ghoul. And that is episode 7. So what is your favorite part from episode 7? Whoever wants to go first.
I'm gonna be honest. I think that part, and I know I'm not picking super story beats because, like, I feel like everyone loves the story beats, but the part just when he like gets shot in the neck and he just casually takes it out, and
It's
he's
like, why
like,
am I
"What
not
the hell?"
dead?
He's like, "Why am I not dead?" He's like, "I think I knew." What did he say? I shouldn't have like taken that from a guy that smelt funny. What did he say exactly?
I forget, but something like that.
Yeah, like, to me, that's like that whole entire scene with the music. Like, yeah, I love the mids on the music. He's like, no, it's in the music. Yeah, in the
Yeah.
music. These are original record. That whole scene was just perfect. It was just so funny. Because everyone
Also,
dead
like,
in those traps were just people like saying they don't like the music. They weren't even raiders.
yeah, they were just trying to desperately get rid of that music.
Oh,
Also the scene of Maximus and Lucy walking up to Thaddeus, and Thaddeus just pulls the gun out and misses like a full clip of
misses.
shots. He just misses, which I don't know if it's
That man's
intentional.
perception's at level 1.
Seriously, but like, dude, Ham, you played a little bit of Fallout 3. The aiming in Fallout 3, even when you're aiming at somebody, it's kind of like that, where it's like you might not hit them for an entire clip, maybe. So shout out to them for that, because that felt like a pretty cool call out to him being way under level, kind of. So
Yeah, he's like, man, I can't do this without a scope.
yeah.
Ham, what's your favorite part from episode 7?
So there's 2.
Okay.
One of them that I thought was funny was when they returned the core.
Yeah.
And
Thank you.
yeah, and the vault had the audacity to say thank you when they were
Thanks.
down there dying, essentially. They were so nice of people. They ended up being such a nice bunch of people. And this ties into what I was saying about episode 6 as well. You can't judge a book by its cover. You've seen all those crazy people acting crazy, weird, and whatnot. And although it was outside of the norms of what is supposed to be, those people that might have been crazy in some aspects really were there just to live the whole time. And we thought they were sacrificing, we thought they were like doing the whole sacrifice thing of just like newcomers and stuff like that, and they thought that they were. I mean, they were kind of subjects, but they were subjects of curiosity more than subjects of science.
Yeah.
Like they were just like, we don't know if we can trust these people, so this is why they're test subjects. We don't know if we can trust them. But you know, Maximus and Lucy thought, hey, we're test subjects. They're gonna turn us into what they look like, or try to sacrifice and kill us. So that whole "don't judge a book by its cover" thing was pretty prevalent. My other favorite part in particular was the human element that came with after old boy was busting at him, you know, and missed every single shot. And then they seen in the horizon, oh, here comes the boys. You know what I'm saying? Like, uh-oh, what are we gonna do? One dude said, you know, one dude's supposed to be dead. He ain't dead. He's actually in the power suit. Other dude is thought to have been like, you know, in some sort of serious trouble. But then the things that happened in earlier episodes kind of caught back up to where, you know, what's his name? Maximus, you know, he heard bro confess that he wanted to be cool with them, but he just was tired of getting beat up by his crew, so he turned him into the punching bag. And that he actually felt bad for him and didn't want him to be like that. He wanted to end up being friends with them. And he's all admitting this to who he thinks is Titus.
Yep.
So he's admitting, man, I really actually like that dude. And Maximus is sitting there like, this dude actually liked me, but he was just whooping my ass just to get people off of him. So like that the like compassion moment kicked back in once bro was, you know, because Maximus told him, I'm a cover for you. Get out of here. Right? And when he said I'm a cover for you, I'm like immediately thinking, oh, we're gonna see him again. He's probably gonna have Maximus's back.
Yeah.
Because he allowed him to be set free, knowing that he turned himself into a ghoul essentially, and he can't come back to, you know, normal way of living now. So I mean, I thought that was pretty cool. He admitted himself back to his group and went back and had to explain everything that happened, why he did what and whatnot. And to me, that just made me like, I was already a fan of Maximus at that point, but that's when I was like, this is my favorite character, right? Because he is taking responsibility in all sorts of areas that he doesn't have to. He's getting beat up for things that he didn't do. And when he gets back and they're trying to vilify him and be mad at him and everything like that, karma caught back up, and bro that got his foot all fucked up admitted that he did it to himself.
He did it. Yep.
He did it to himself, which immediately took bro off the hook, and he's not looked at as a Titus killer as much as just a survivor that just so happened to have a power suit.
Yes. And
so it was like so it was like one of those charges dropped moments.
That was awesome.
Yeah. So I was just like, yes, he's finally getting, you know, some love. Like, sure, he's not completely loved, but he's getting some love out here. You know, so I thought that was really cool. But yeah, those were my two favorite parts.
I like that. Yeah, I thought it was. I was pretty shocked to find out that Dane did that himself. Like, he did that to himself, and then Maximus took the fall for it, or was about to take the fall for it. And to have it come full circle and have Dane just be like, yeah, I did. That was me. Nobody did that. That was me. And to have the higher ups kind of realize, oh, he's not a terrible person. We just kind of put him into it. But yeah, episode 8, the final episode, the big finale. We got Sir X-Man back in here for it.
Yeah, there's gonna be a lot to talk about here.
Yeah, this is gonna be a beefy one. So episode 8. I mean, do we even need to go over? Because we all know what happens in episode 8.
Yeah.
Right. Like, I mean, we find out about Hank. Hank's been around for a minute. He's been stuck in cryo. Norm finds the cryo chamber. I mean, Lucy meets up with Moldaver, talking to her dad, and dad's trying to tell Lucy not to listen to anything that Moldaver's saying. We find out the truth about Lucy's mom. We find out that, Lucy was in Shady Sands for some time. Lucy spent time in Shady Sands, and that's why she remembers it so vividly. And her dad has been telling her that, oh, that was just a part of the vault. You've been in the vault your whole life. No, she was in Shady Sands with her mom before it got nuked by her father. I mean, we find out Betty's back 200 and something years ago as the receptionist at Vault Tech. There's so many things that happen in this episode. The biggest thing I think we can all agree is Coop's wife calling for the bombs to be dropped, saying that the only way to guarantee that our plan works out is for us to drop the bombs ourselves. That was the biggest moment of the show for me. And I think you guys probably would agree with that. But I mean, it's going to be hard to pick and choose. But what was your favorite part? Episode 8, the final episode of Fallout. Whoever wants to go first.
It was really just to reveal who Moldaver really is, and like who, that realistically speaking, because everyone was saying how much this game disrespected Fallout New Vegas, right? How much was a discourse, but they were the good guys and essentially right about, essentially everything, from the beginning. And they're, when you think about it, the driving force for good in that universe, which to me was like, how could you even say this is disrespecting New Vegas when it's like, I don't know, they're kind of like the good guy here, but I don't know, it's Twitter. But to me, it was really that entire combat scene of the Brotherhood of Steel touching ground, just making landfall or whatever heck it is. And it was also kind of like Maximus like really realizing too. I mean, he always knew the Brotherhood was like really violent, really kind of shitty in some ways, but when they just started opening fire on literally anyone, it wasn't like they were just shooting at like, the soldiers. They were shooting at the citizens too. I feel like he was like, Maximus was like walking through all of that like horrified. Like it was kind of like a real, like an even deeper realization for him. Like, I don't even belong here. Like he's like he's like still learning things about himself because, as we know, it's kind of like he hasn't really been able to be a person up until like that month. You know what I mean? Like his thoughts were thought for him. Like his daily tasks were planned out for him. Who he was going to be, who he could be was planned out for him. And it's kind of like, it's like he's sentient. You know what I mean? For the first time. And it was kind of like a horrible realization that, holy shit, we really aren't like the good guys here. Or, or things are about to get much worse. It was kind of like a combination of the two. That personally was my favorite part. That and just the end credit scene. Or before the credit scene rolled. That was just
I know.
Yeah.
The reveal of New Vegas for what we're assuming that's going to play a huge role in season 2.
It has.
Right.
So I mean, but yeah, I mean, I would have to agree with everything you said there.
I'm gonna go on ahead I'm gonna go on ahead and take this now, and I'm gonna say, first of all, that moment of Hank listening to his wife speak like she was speaking, and hearing like the way that they set up that scene.
Come on, Barb, set him straight.
The way that they set that scene up was so damn disrespectful and genius at the same time. Because old girl Barb was sitting back and letting everybody around the table have their thoughts.
Yeah.
And they each were speaking one at a time. And then it got a little messy. And then everybody started speaking at the same time. And it was just like there was a person, you know, in the dark section of the bleachers that was just like put like his hand in his ear like he was like an agent off of fucking the Matrix, and was like, tell him now. Tell him what it is. And old boy had to sit there and listen to his wife say, yo, everybody shut up. This is the plan right here. And this is how it's going to go down.
Yeah.
And she said all this pretty stuff at first. Right? And Goggins' character, the ghoul, was like, yeah, there we go. That's what I'm talking about. Like it felt like, you're watching that final drive, like, of your favorite football team, right? And they're one of the best scoring teams in the nation this year. And they're marching down the field, and you're just like, get them. We're about to score. We're about to close out this game. No overtime. We're taking this to the end and finishing it. And then all of a sudden, a pick six happens.
Oh shit!
Right? And what was a tied game ends up being a W for the other team, because when Barb says, "We're gonna do it by dropping the bombs ourselves," like, we as the company have hijacked the countries, essentially. We have hijacked the country, and the only way that people are going to take this stuff serious is if we drop it, if we fuck everything up. And when she said that, the white noise,
yep,
that ended up happening. I mean, you would have thought that Carl died all over again in Walking Dead. Like it gave me that like Rick moment where he's just like, no, Carl, no, this can't be. Like he was thrown for a fucking loop that he did not anticipate happening. So he was just like, man, everybody looks at me wild as it is, right? And now essentially my wife is making me kind of fall on the sword for this shit.
Yeah.
My name's in my name has to do with this, so I'm gonna I'm gonna look like the crazy asshole, right? But you're in the background orchestrating, making sure that this all comes to fruition. And the second one that I had, which was something that Yobi brought up in the comments down here. He said the two biggest moments, the reveal of Hank in New Vegas, yada yada. But he said, but this is the one that I'm talking about. This is my second part. Was her mother being a fucking ghoul sitting at the table with Molliver.
Yep.
And then her finding out in that moment that when she thought she was outside but was really in the vault, no, you were literally outside.
Yep.
You were outside. Daddy didn't like it. Daddy killed your mama.
Oh.
That was nuts when you found that out. Right? And then what I didn't expect to happen that kind of was like the crescendo of the season was Mauler dying. I didn't see that coming.
Yeah, I didn't see that coming either.
I thought somehow she was going to be like the lead for the next season, but she got dropped right at the end of that episode. And she got dropped, but was proud of what she accomplished.
Yep.
And it was crazy because she was just like, I showed everybody everything now. I can die in peace. You know, hey, Lucy, that's your mama. It's your daddy's fault. And look at your daddy running like a coward right now. He hopped in that suit and he dipped.
Yeah.
And at that very moment, I felt like finally Lucy and Norm are kind of on the same page of this is way more fucked up than we could have ever anticipated. And he's figuring out things from the inside while she's on the outside trying to put pieces together. And I'm really excited for them to get back together and share what they've learned from each other. I am stoked for season 2 to come and them to team up. And he's like the whiz kid, and she's like the muscle.
Yeah.
With Maximus being the ultra muscle.
Oh yeah, I'm really interested to see if Maximus just because the way it ends is like Maximus is kind of the hero of the Brotherhood of Steel, and he doesn't want that shit at all. I'm interested to see if he just dips. Like season 2 starts with like he's just AWOL on the Brotherhood of Steel.
I'm also excited for the Ghoul to reconvene with the overseer that got taken. Hank.
Oh yes.
I can't wait to see because they locked eyes before, and he said that wild ass quote.
Yep.
To him that the Ghoul ended up saying at the beginning of the season.
Yes.
So he hasn't forgot about that motherfucker.
Not at all. Not at all. He's gonna recognize it as soon as he sees him. He's gonna recognize it.
Man, because remember, Norm is stuck in 30 in 30 and 31 right now.
God damn it, he took my part.
So I'm hoping that the Ghoul goes into 33 with Lucy and busts open 31, finding her brother and being like, yo.
I mean, what else is he
Old
gonna
boy's gonna be looking for his wife, and Lucy's gonna be hot because she's gonna be like, where's my brother? What? Y'all didn't want to go find him? Well, I found him, no problem. What the fuck are y'all doing here? And then the brother gonna be like, oh, they setting up bullshit in the background.
Oh yeah.
32 is ran by somebody that ain't never had no mashed potatoes. She lying. I'm done. Go ahead, Threx, man. I know you sitting on your hands.
You took my part. The one I was holding on to, man. Nobody talked about it.
We'll talk about it.
You try to say payback, huh? No, but with that many people there and just Vault 31, so think about how many more rich people are in the other vaults. Remember, they said there's over 100 and something vaults altogether worldwide. So if you have executives, if I remember, they were going to put executives in certain vaults all over the world. So if all those people were frozen and stuck and they don't know what happened to the real world after, you can see a lot more seasons for Fallout coming. So
I hope so.
they actually set that up perfectly. And what's his name is stuck with that stupid robot in there. And she said, I can't let you leave. And he like, what? Then he see, you can get in one of these to preserve yourself, the one that your father left. You know, you can get in his if you want to stay alive, because technically they don't have food because they're all frozen or in suspended animation. So he could be around. And trust me, the father knows about Vault 31.
Oh, yeah.
He knows about that. But I think old girl in charge doesn't know about that, because all she did was get her information from the robot that's down there.
I'll tell you, I think she does know, because like I have it on the screen right there. That is
yes,
Betty.
she came from 31. That's right.
That is Betty. So she was in there. She was in there for however long she was in there. She was in there. She knew all about that stuff. I also want to point out, you mentioned that robot. That's Bud Askins.
Right.
Who like, that was also another reveal that happened in here, was Bud Askins, the dude who was in charge of the power armor that Coop said got a lot of people killed when he was fighting. But apparently Bud Askins is now the robot. He put his,
because you see, it's a brain. It's a brain encased in the robot. So they might have found a way to mind his brain with a thing. So in the future, you never know. In the future stories, if it breaks out, they could actually put a brain in a robot. They could actually put his brain in a machine and cause total havoc. Yes. You know, I could see that going that way. Because remember, these people are scientists and they mixing crazy. This is a fictional world. So they got good science, but they also have old school traditions. You know, and that's gonna lead to some crazy things. Like now they go to Vegas, right? You don't know what the Vegas vault had and how many vaults they have in Vegas. So I'm sure some of them people somewhere all over the world got out. You saw that by them people that got out of the vault and had that nudist coat. When all, you know, I know it's in the back, but when all them people got naked, and I was like, what the fuck? And then you thought they were all gonna somebody was gonna be a sacrifice, and then they said, you free to go. And then old boy came in there beating up people, dude. That was so funny. I like I said, I love the storyline. But as far as at the end, when they made cold fusion, and the fight was for the cold fusion to control everything, and now people got power. What's gonna happen now when people have power, man? What how is this world about to change in California? You know, they said that's enough to give the planet, that little bitty thing is enough to give the planet all the power. So you can tell that the next one is going to be people coming to get that cold fusion and adopt it to them and limit it to where it's gone. Because the main protagonist that released it all, you can feel that people from every region might be coming for that cold fusion technology since it's been unleashed. So I can see that being a main staple of the next one, because the overseer, the one that they said is really in charge of everything, you know he wants that. You know he wants that. Man, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say I could see that. I was gonna ask what, because Yobi brought it up in the chat. He says also Norman's character development through season 1 is fascinating as fuck, which led me to the question I wanted to ask, kind of like one of the final questions of the show. Who is your favorite character from the show and why? And I will lead with mine because Legendary Yobi said it right there. Norm is my favorite character. Norm is my favorite because he went from Ham said it earlier. He went from being in the background, being a coward. He knew he was a coward. He said, I'm not cut out for it up top, but I'm gonna do what I can do behind the scenes here to figure out what's going on and what I can do to stop it. And that's exactly what he did. And his character arc was fucking nuts throughout the whole show. So Norm, my favorite character, easy choice for me. Maximus second. But pass it off to anybody who wants to go next. Who's your favorite character and why?
The girl that got out of the vault. Because I like
Lucy.
the way, Lucy. I like the way she was evolving over the course of the story to know you can't be this dainty little person like you were in the vault. You can't go out there and treat everybody like they're good. The world you're going into is totally different than the world you grew up in. And the way she evolved and changed and learned how to kill. Because I knew when the minute she cut that guy's head off and she didn't want to, you knew that was a change right there. And then when she made that first kill, that changed her whole mindset and the way she absorbed. And did you see the way she looked at that fish when she saw the teeth were actually fingers for the first time, and she stared at it like, "What the fuck?"
That was a crazy ass moment.
That changed her so much. Also, it's just the evolution of her from the experiences she was having, because she was the story arc of really the main story arc of the show, and everybody else did their thing in their own light to make them shine, just like the main three characters. They did their thing in their story arcs to make them shine. But since she's the main protagonist, the people around her are helping her to grow, especially Norman. I'm sorry, Norman is probably one of the best people that showed her what the world is really like. And that's the biggest story arc that I enjoy. And Maximus at least kept her down to earth a little bit. He was hard on her a little bit in certain ways, but he kept her down to earth. But Norm, he put her under the reality of this world. And I love the way those two have that camaraderie. You know what I'm saying? They both understand where each of them are coming from. And that bond is going to carry over to season 2 even more as it develops. And don't add a fourth person. Let them stay exactly in the circle that they're at. And don't change the continuity of these three people. I'm Nick. You can go on the guys now. I just all I want to say about that.
All right. Ham, what do you think? Your favorite character and why?
My favorite character is Maximus, just because he goes through a lot of turmoil, but somehow still remains human at the end of the day. And he wasn't raised to like he wasn't really raised to be as accepting as a person as he currently is, and like willing to like try to help and stuff like that. He just kind of stayed human in the midst of all this debauchery going on throughout the world. And the willingness that he had to continue to fight against all odds when literally every situation was stacked against him that he was in. The only time he was comfortable was when he went into the vault. And still at that point, he still wasn't 100% trusting. And although he got all of that, he still rocked with the people that rocked with him. So like he's seen what's her name? Lucy getting dragged away, and he risked everything that he risked everything that was comfortable and new to him, that he loved, enjoyed, and wanted to remain, have the remainder of his life be like.
Yep.
And as soon as he figured that out, he was that she is getting taken. He grabbed that core, threw it in the suit, and got to tossing folks. He was like, "I'm gonna." He's like, "I'm gonna get her back, and I'm gonna ask questions later."
Yeah.
And to me, I mean, and you could see it within Lucy's character. She was just like, yo, like I didn't like she. You could clearly tell that after what she had went through from being on the surface, she didn't expect anybody to ever have her back like that. And when she was shown that, hey, this dude really does care, and wants answers as much as me, but wants to just be a good person at the end of the day. I mean, to me, that just spoke so much about the character of him. And then my second favorite character is, I mean, I'm being won over by Norm, because to see somebody have he's like the rose in the middle of the concrete jungle, right? That's growing in the concrete. Like, he ain't supposed to be what he is. He's supposed to be a sissy, but he said enough was enough. So those are my two favorites.
Mike, what do you think? Favorite character and why?
I mean, I'm gonna be a broken record here, Matt, but it's the same as you. It's Norm.
I'm not mad at that.
It's a broken. He went from, and even in the beginning too, when I thought he was a bit of a coward, I found him entertaining enough to be like, I don't want to be here. I don't want to be doing any of this bullshit. I don't want to be doing this duty. I don't want to be a part of the vault activities. Because I think a lot of people can actually kind of relate to it to some degree. I'm not talking about the part where he kind of like cowards out, but the part where you kind of feel like a little different from the rest of the pack in a certain way.
He lacks enthusiasm.
He lacks enthusiasm at anything he does.
Yes.
How do you punish someone that lacks enthusiasm? Yeah. But he's my favorite character just because he I don't know if I can say quickly, but he realized there was a flaw in his, it is what it is, life goes this way kind of thinking, and he realized there's actually something wrong here, and maybe I can do something about it. Or at least want to get to the bottom of it, to know what's going on. Because he might, if he had the chance, maybe he realized he couldn't do anything once he found out. You know what I mean? Which right now, I mean, with where he is, we kind of can't really do anything at the moment for all we know, with being locked in there. So I really like that character arc of being someone like, I don't care, fuck this, I don't want to be a part of the reading activity with you guys or watching things together. I just want to play games on my Pip-Boy, and just kind of be left alone to someone that kind of knows that, now is the time to act. Now is the time to really step up to the plate. And it was kind of funny. He's kind of the exact opposite, but in a good way, of which in the way he was raised, how everyone was raised at that vault, to just be kind of like, everyone is good, everything is great, you're the golden rule, everything is face value, it is what it is, it's truth. When what you see on the face is what everything is, kind of like how Lucy, she believed everyone at first, everyone has to be good until I get shit all over. Where he kind of, on the other hand, I feel like is kind of like someone could say it edgy, but sees a lot of it as fake and kind of corny, and maybe there's something a little deeper than it. And he was right. So personally, he is my favorite character, because I feel like he's most people in that kind of a situation. That I feel like most people can relate to that. All right, I really got to step up to the plate now. I can't be the person hiding in, the floor department thingy next time an attack happens. I need to know what's going on. And I think it's kind of like admirable that he kind of realized that, wow, my sister's out there trying to find out what's going to the bottom of what happened to our father, and I know something's wrong here. I need to push to find out what's happening.
Absolutely.
Real quick, here's one story arc I hope they addressed that they did not address in the whole series show.
Mm-hmm.
What happened to his daughter when he covered her up? It was not addressed throughout the whole show. And I'm waiting for when he finally gets to his wife that is frozen in the vault. When she says, "What happened to my daughter?" You killed her. I can't wait to see that reaction.
You think his daughter is dead? Because I think his daughter might. Well, it's interesting because the bombs he was with her when the bombs happened. So I thought maybe the daughter could be with, like, maybe he rushed home kind of thing, and the mom took him.
Nah, the blast was too soon. He covered her up at the beginning. To cover her up from the blast. So you know what I'm saying? We don't know. We don't know if she was giving her the drugs too. We know she gave it to Norman. That's how he survived it. But we don't know if the daughter was getting the drug because she said, "I would do anything to protect my baby," but yet you were the cause of your baby getting killed.
Possibly.
You know,
it's going to be interesting to see that.
Yeah, I hope they address that because that's not going to be a pretty moment. And that's probably why he got so much revenge in his heart, because he loved his daughter as much as she did. So Norm is hunting for blood for his daughter too. He's out for revenge. But he ain't told nobody about it yet.
Sure.
Uh-huh.
So what to wrap up quickly, what are we looking forward to most in season 2? I think Sir X-Man kind of said he thinks that people are going to come for the cold fusion. But Ham, what are you looking forward most to in season 2? What do you want to see?
I want to see a lot more development out of the Ghoul.
Nice. That was kind of my answer, honestly. I want to see more of the Ghoul.
Yeah, I want to see more development out with the Ghoul, and I want to see I want to see Maximus take more of a leadership role within the Brotherhood of Steel, and almost be like the like a commanding front or like a main man that's there that kind of controls what they kind of do, but also he has some sort of pushback, like, or like rival person that's trying to keep it like messy. Yeah. Right. So almost a war within the Brotherhood is what I'd like to see. So I'd like to see character development out of the Ghoul more. I want reconnection with Lucy and Norm, and I want to see Maximus be like one of the head guys at the Brotherhood.
Okay. Mike, what about you? What are you looking forward to most? What do you want to see season 2 of Fallout?
Answers to things left open in the first one, and I kind of would like some more like unique, like just in general more Fallout lore related answers, because there's so much stuff also to the rest of the world that like so many questions about the other countries and what they look like and what they're going through. We're probably not going to get them in the show, which is totally fine. I understand that, but man, it's a whole world that went through nuclear war, and there's a lot of different ways a lot of different countries could have handled it. So I really would I'd hope to get maybe some answers on that somewhere.
Oh, there's one other thing I wanted to throw out just real fast. I want to also see Moldovor's time between bomb going off initially, where she got to, like was she frozen? How the hell did she stay alive and without turning into a ghoul? So like, I want to figure that part out too. I'm done.
Absolutely. Yeah. For me, I mean, you kind of took what I wanted to see. You know, some more development on the Ghoul. I want to see the Ghoul get the answers that he's looking for. I want to see him find his wife. I want to see him confront his wife, because for damn sure his wife is still alive. His wife is still alive somewhere. So I want to see that. But I really want to see. I want to see Norm get out of Vault 31, and I want to see Norm confront Betty. I want to see Norm confront Betty at Vault 33 because Betty knew that Norm was on to him, and I'm sure she breathes a sigh of relief knowing that he's locked because she must know that he's locked in Vault 31. I want to see him out of that, and I want to see him confront Betty with what he found and make her come up with something to say about what they've been doing over there at Vault 31.
I got a question, guys. Where was the first Fallout game located at? What city? What
That's a question for Cozy in the chat. Cozy, where was the first Fallout game? Leave that in the comments because I don't know. I've never played 1 and 2.
I didn't either.
Say.
I played it a little bit, but I can't remember where the vault was.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
I think it was east.
Where's Fallout 1 take place? Takes place in Southern California.
So, oh wow! So they put it in this original place.
Looks like it. Wow. Near Shady Sands.
Wow.
So okay. Fallout 1 takes place in Southern California near Shady Sands and Vault 33 from the Fallout show.
So this is after, if you go by what the show said, this is actually after the fall of Shady Sands, which is like Halo after the fall of Reach. So this is actually another version of the aftermath of that. So this is a continuation from a different vault in this Fallout. So people can't say now that it's not following Fallout. It's following after Shady Sands. Good trick. Prime Video. Good trick, Tom Howard. Good trick. That was a good trick. Yeah. I did not expect him to throw that. Unless you have to think about it to realize it. So only people that have played Fallout really know that this is after the Sands. Yep. They're the only ones that's gonna know. Wow, that's some deep stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I've never played it, so that is definitely news to me. The whole Southern California thing for Fallout 1. But my God, guys, we've been going for 3 hours and 11 minutes.
I know.
Yeah, I'm cooked.
Yeah, I am too. Honestly, I'm starving. We need to get up out of here. But that was a review of season 1 and its totality. We planned to do an hour and a half, but we sure as shit overshot.
There was so much. There was so much.
Let's get up out of here. Let's go do our own thing. Get some food and stuff. Thank you all for watching. Anybody who stopped in, anybody who was in the comments, anybody who left a like, I appreciate that very much. Tomorrow, a video on the channel, and then the L3R3 podcast at 8 p.m. Eastern tomorrow. So look forward to that. We're going to hop up out of here. You guys have a great rest of your night. We will see you later. Peace.
Have a good one, everyone.